Revenge is on the mind of Texas fans everywhere as the Longhorns get set for their third meeting with the Georgia Bulldogs in the last 2 years. Not only is revenge on the line, but a potential spot in the SEC title game and a trip to the college football playoff is at stake. Safe to say tonight is a big one. Welcome into the Texas Sports Unfiltered Longhorn pregame show, broadcasting live from Victory Lap on Rainey Street, just south of downtown Austin. We're here for the next 2 hours, getting you set for kickoff between the 10th ranked Longhorns and number 5 Georgia at Sanford Stadium in Athens. Kickoff a little after 6:30. If you're looking for a place to watch the game, this is the spot. Come by and see us. We're giving away some koozies. We're also raffling off a cowboy hat from our great friends at Cavender's. Alongside former Texas running backs coach Bucky Godbolt, I am BK Brad Kellner. We are thrilled to bring you the TSU Longhorn football pregame show presented by Audio-Visual Consultations and Covert Bee Cave. Buck, we know that every game day is a big deal around here, but this one just feels a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it certainly does. You know, this is our second lap at Victory Lap,
Yes,
I guess, right? So this is our second lap around, and we had such a good time the last time we were at Victory Lap. I would say that would be north, correct?
The West Campus location.
Okay, go West Campus.
Yep.
North to me.
North to you.
Yeah, south over here. So this is, what a wonderful place to watch a game, and what a beautiful day today. And as you said, yeah, it just means more today for sure.
Yeah.
For both teams, as a matter of fact.
For both teams. So much on the line. It's two blue bloods. It's a top 10 matchup. And again, both teams vying for a spot in the SEC championship game. Both teams vying for a spot in the college football playoff. It's about as close to a must-win game as you can possibly have. And revenge is on the mind of every Texas fan everywhere. We all know what happened in the 2 meetings between these 2 schools last year. The Longhorns had 2 chances at Georgia in their first year in the SEC. The regular season game in Austin, a disaster for the Longhorns. The SEC title game in Atlanta, much better, but ultimately an overtime loss to Georgia. I know Steve Sarkisian earlier this week downplayed the revenge angle, Buck, but obviously not only is it a big deal to beat a team like Georgia at their place, considering what happened in 2024, just feels like a bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean, for Steve Sarkisian, this is, and this football team, this is getting more than just a monkey off your back. This is getting like a 500-pound gorilla off your back.
Yeah.
Totally. And to go to Athens for the first time, it's hard for me to believe this is the first time Texas has ever played in Athens, has played University of Georgia.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the road. That's different. You know, there had a great fan base that came here last year, and hopefully a lot of Longhorns made the trip to Athens and to see what that's like and that college town is like.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a tremendous atmosphere in Athens tonight. Again,
Under the lights.
Under the lights, kickoff just over 2.5 hours away. Texas currently a 4.5-point underdog. The money has actually been coming in on Texas since we last talked to the people yesterday morning. But we're here to talk all about this game. Keys to the game, big matchups, X factors. We'll give our offensive and defensive player the game predictions. And of course, before we wrap things up at 6 o'clock, our game score predictions. Can the Longhorns find a way to get it done against Georgia and again keep their college football playoff hopes alive? Buck, it's been a couple of weeks since Texas has played a game. The last time we saw the Longhorns, maybe the most impressive performance of the season at home against Vanderbilt. If you just look, maybe you won't be too impressed, dominating Vanderbilt for about 3.5 quarters a couple of weeks ago. That was a huge win against a top 10 team. Obviously, the hope for every Longhorn fan is that the Horns can ride some momentum. They did so much right, especially on offense against the Commodores. The hope is more of the same tonight in Georgia.
I got to believe more than anything, you got to be able to bring the physicality that you brought while you played at home against Vanderbilt to Athens, and that'll be important for the Longhorns to do. That same physicality that you brought up to Dallas when you played against Oklahoma. That's what it'll take to beat the Georgia Bulldogs at home. They don't lose very many games on their home field. They don't lose very many games anywhere. But at home, you know, they're damn near unbeatable, except for Alabama.
Right.
That gets a hold of them. So you're gonna have to bring physicality with you. This won't be a finesse game. This will be a 4-quarter game. And if the Horns can stay with them for 4 quarters, and Texas now has been kind of battle tested in fourth quarters. We've seen lately. Some games probably shouldn't have been battle tested into the fourth quarter,
right?
But it's happened. So got to take advantage of the experience that you've had that way. And hopefully this will be an opportunity for them to hang in there and maybe get a lead where somebody else is going to have to try to come from behind, like Vandy did last week.
Yeah, that would be nice. at Sanford Stadium. The Georgia Bulldogs are 51-2. So again, you have to do just about everything perfectly to win at their place. Maybe this Georgia team not as dominant in previous years, but they are still 8-1, ranked in the top 5, and very much in the mix for a conference and national championship this year. So the Longhorns obviously have their work cut out for them. But I'm with you, Buck, 100%. I mean, Texas has 2 top 10 wins this year, right? The game against Oklahoma
Right.
in Dallas that you mentioned, the game against Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. I thought those were the best lines of scrimmage games that Texas has had all year. They knew that they needed to bring it in the trenches, and they did. They established the run pretty well in both games. Their defensive front dominated in both games. A little bit taller of a task against this Georgia team, but that's the kind of thing that we need to see tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be here to stay. You can't be in the game physically, in the third quarter and say, okay, that's all I got to give. I mean, you're going to have to give it all the way for 4 quarters because Georgia will be there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just used to doing. That's just the way they play the game. They'll be there for 4 quarters. To me, will the Horns be there? I mean, will this offensive line be able to sustain against a Georgia line? It's not a great line, but at home, who knows? Who knows? We just don't know. I think we've all been waiting to see, and especially in this game, we've seen Georgia up and down when it comes to their defensive line play. What will they be like against the Texas Longhorn offensive line that's average?
That's nice.
Yes, very average.
Yeah, well, the one time we've seen this starting 5 from the Texas offensive line, they were above average. That
Yeah,
was the
I mean,
game against
against
Vanderbilt. No sacks
top 10
allowed.
team, yeah.
Only 1 tackle for a loss allowed. It was the most impressive performance we've seen from the Longhorn offensive line all year. And again, it was the first time we had seen that combination of 5 with Cole Hudson back playing his natural position at left guard, Connor Robertson in there at center. That's your same group. Everybody's had a week off to get healthy. Nobody showed up on the injury report for the Texas side this week. So yeah, the offensive line, they got to bring it today, both for the run. You'd like to get something going on the ground because in the 2 games against Georgia last year, you had nothing. And obviously in protecting Arch Manning as well. Those 5 guys up front, I know people don't focus on the offensive linemen very much, but they are the biggest key to a Texas win for me.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. It is Texas is not, over the last 2 games against Georgia, they haven't been able to run the ball the length of this table. So it's
you think this is more than 1.1 yard at this table?
Yeah, it's just a little, it's over that. Yes. They haven't been able to do that per carry. So,
God.
I mean, it's a game today that they're going to have to be able to. I'm not saying they're going to run for 4 yards a clip, but they got to be 2.5, 3 yards at times just to keep the guys off of Arch Manning. They've got to keep people off of Arch. And to me, I don't care if you throw it 100 times.
Impressive.
Just keep it off of him.
Yeah, well, Arch Manning suffered a concussion 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I mean, he came back against Vanderbilt and played great. Didn't show any signs of any lingering anything from that concussion. But shoot, even if he wasn't coming off of a head injury, you would want to
you want to protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
That's your number one goal is to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you're on the road.
Especially when you're on the road. And you mentioned it. Yeah, the 2 games against Georgia last season, 55 carries, 60 rushing yards for the Longhorns. 1.1 yards per carry.
Well, that's almost hard to do.
It is hard to do. And it's a minor miracle that they went to overtime in the SEC title game despite those rushing numbers. Like, they still had a chance to win that game despite not being able to run the football. But obviously you're flirting with disaster if that's what's going to happen tonight. Like you said, you'd love to get 4 yards a clip. Probably not going to happen. Georgia's got one of the top 20 run defenses in college football. But if you can just make them respect the run game and just have that in your back pocket, that would go a long way into helping this offense.
Well, it sure would help on first down if you could run the ball
for
3.5 yards. That part would, now you're open to just about anything, whether you want to throw or run again. I just don't see this. I don't see Sark hanging in there with the run game very long. And if he's in his bag and he's got his short game passing game in there, I think it'll be fantastic for this team.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're dump offs, whatever you have to do to keep the chains moving, shorten this game up a little bit. Well, and it doesn't matter to Georgia. I mean, they'll fight you in the bathroom.
Sure.
So it doesn't really matter to them. They can be in the open field. They can go into a restroom and put the ball down and battle you in the restroom. And so it doesn't matter.
The porta
potty. They'll go in porta potty and play if they have
to.
to.
Yeah, they like to make it gross and nasty, and they embrace that too.
Yes, they do.
Most teams don't want to get into dogfights, right? They want a clean, easy game. Georgia's like, yeah, we don't care. We'll drag you down to hell and we'll beat you. That's what they do.
And the grown men will be barking in the stands.
There will be grown men on leashes. There will be grown men barking. There will be grown men sniffing each other's butts.
Yes,
There
that's
will
what they
be
do.
grown men eating dog food, I believe, at
Yeah,
Sanford
but
tonight.
tonight is the night that we eat the dogs.
I would like to eat the dogs tonight.
Yes, tonight.
That is the goal. That is the goal. You know, last year we played this.
They're eating the dogs.
Nope. Well, we tried to play it. Maybe it's.
Yes.
Last year we
We're
played that a
eating the
lot.
dogs
Unfortunately, we could not eat the dogs.
Yeah,
in
we
either
played that
game.
twice, and it didn't work out. So maybe this is tonight.
Maybe this is the time. But yeah, man, the Texas offensive line and just the Texas rushing attack getting something going. It's kind of a scary thought because, again, Georgia's got one of the best run defenses in America. It's sort of a scary get-right opportunity for the Longhorns. But I will say this, against Vanderbilt, it wasn't pretty. They did get to 100 yards on the ground. I know at a place like Texas, you usually want way more than that. But, Buck, I think you and I would sign up. If Texas could somehow, as a team, get to the century mark on the ground, they got a shot tonight, I think.
Well, I believe they would be. If they get 100 yards of rushing, I think they'll be in the game.
Yeah.
I really do. But if they come up with 40.
I mean, it barely cracked 30. They got 29 and 31 in the two games against Georgia last year. So if you're telling me they could triple that and get to 100 plus tonight, yes.
And it'll, you got to see what the health of CJ Baxter is. And, I'm hoping that they're all healthy tonight. I think they'll need everybody. They need Trey Wisner to have that hamstring. No problem with his hamstring. No problems with his knee. But CJ Baxter, somebody has to come in and spell the kid is going to get most of the carries tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
They really do. And they can't be in there coming in and be ineffective.
Yeah, C.J. Baxter was pretty ineffective the last time out against Vanderbilt, and the hope is, again, with the week off, he's had some more time to rest the hamstring. From what I've heard, obviously suffered big knee injuries last fall, caused him to miss the entirety of the 2024 season. But from what I've heard, most of the issues with C.J. Baxter as of late have been related to the hamstring.
The hamstring, sure.
Not to the knee. So the hope is, those soft tissue injuries, they tend to linger. You get him off his feet for a couple of weeks. You let him heal up a little bit. The hope is he could be a little bouncier, a little springier, have a little bit more juice than he has. Because I'm with you. Look, I don't think this game's going to come down to C.J. Baxter. I don't think it's going to come down to any backup.
No.
But like you said, I think he has to carry the ball some. He has to get some touches. And you can't have those touches all go backwards.
No.
That'd be something good.
Yeah, I mean, and with this offensive line, when C.J. Baxter is healthy, when the way he looked as a freshman running the ball, if you have a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, he's going to get you a couple yards there. You just can't have penetration and have guys sitting in the hole right now. He doesn't have that kind of wiggle.
Yeah.
That's the problem with him. He's missing the wiggle right now, and that's something that you hope they'll get as time goes on or as the next year comes on. But as of now, he doesn't have that wiggle.
You've turned the page to 2026
yes,
for him?
Just about.
Little Bob Seger action.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because just the fact that guy's out there playing and practicing right now is pretty good.
What about Trey Wisner then? I mean, he's the number one running back. It hasn't quite been the encore that we were looking from him after the 1,000-yard performance he had in 2024. But coming off a solid game against Vanderbilt, and an interesting thing about Trey Wisner this year, his three best games have been against the three top 10 teams that Texas has played.
Yeah, he seems to play better when the opponent is really good.
Yeah, you need that tonight.
Yes,
this is a really good team tonight, coming off 18 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown against Vanderbilt. Like, you got to get something from him. Georgia shut him down. They shut everybody down on the Texas offense last year. Be nice to see Trey Wisner get something going.
Yeah, I would see him with 20 to 25 carries tonight.
20 to 25?
Yeah, 20 to 25.
What if it's not working?
I would see him with 10 carries and call it a night.
Okay.
And just start throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah, that's the question.
This is not the night to if it's not working in the first half, here's what you do. We'll come back to it. No, not coming back to anything. You're getting your best plays every play.
Yeah.
Tonight, that's important. You can't keep getting stuffed if it's not working. If you can throw the ball and have success throwing the ball, and if you have to throw all night long, then you do that. Yeah. You're gonna win some of those battles. You're going to lose some of those battles too, because this offensive line is not going to protect you 100% of the time. That's just not going to happen.
No.
So if you pick and choose, but you don't bang your head against the wall. Running the ball with this group right now it's not. We've got more than a sample size of what it's like to watch them run the ball 15, 20 times. It's just not working.
I think you have to find a way to get your running backs involved in the offense.
Your one running back is one of your explosive players, so
Yeah.
you got to find a way to get the ball to him.
Right. Trey Wisner, yeah, he's been good in the passing game the last couple
He's been
of
good
years.
in these games, like you said.
Been good in these big games too. Like the hope is, yeah, I mean, you just have to find a way to get Trey Wisner, who is one of
Absolutely.
this team's most explosive playmakers, the football. And you can't just bang your head against the wall.
No.
Right? Running between the tackles over and over again. This is not like a establish the run kind of game.
No.
It's not just go prove that you're macho, you're more macho than the other
No.
team, and you can win a battle of physicality against Georgia. This is do whatever you have to do to win this football game.
Yeah, nobody cares if you win by one. You know, it's not how you win. It's just win the game tonight.
Yeah, well, Alabama just missed a field goal at halftime. Oklahoma with a 3-point lead in Tuscaloosa at the break. Obviously a big one at the top of the SEC. That'll lead into Texas, Georgia on ABC tonight. Kicker was yelling at somebody. I don't see the kicker too mad very often. Oh, we got a high snap here. That's the issue. Anyways, so I went back, Buck, and looked at, what was that, blocked?
Yeah, got tipped.
Got a little piece. I went back and looked at Georgia's loss to Alabama. And I also looked at Georgia's overtime win against Tennessee and their miracle comeback win against Ole Miss. Like their 3 worst performances of the year, the 3 worst defensive showings that they've had all season long. And it's been opposing quarterbacks that did the damage against Georgia. Again, their rush defense has been really solid this year. They've been susceptible through the air. And in those games, the Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss quarterbacks were sacked to combine one time. Not one time per game, just to combine 1 sack allowed. And there was only 1 regulation turnover by those 3 quarterbacks combined in those 3 games. So you look at what's been giving the Georgia defense problems this year. If opposing teams have been able to keep their quarterback upright and prevent that costly killer turnover, you've been able to move the ball and put up points against a Georgia defense. We're not used to seeing that from them. This group feels a little bit more susceptible to that than they have in the past.
Yeah, and I would think a running quarterback will really give them a little bit of problem tonight. And I expect to see Arch Manning take off and run with the football as if he didn't have a concussion a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as some people think. No, he's going to protect himself. He's going to get down. I know if he has an opportunity to run and get out of the pocket, PK, I can see him taking off to get the kind of yards that they need in the run game to be a part of that run game. They need him to be a part of it.
Only 1 carry against Vanderbilt for 4 yards. That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't need him because he was so good through the air and the offense got whatever it wanted. But you're thinking it's going to be more than 1 rush.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to I think he's going to be flushed tonight a few times that he's going to have to run, or he chooses to run, instead of throwing it down the field where that hole, there's 8 yards right there for me to just run through the hole right there.
Yeah.
If you got to get down, then get down, and just be careful of how you get down.
Well, get down, please.
Yes.
Because the 1 carry he did have against Vanderbilt, he didn't get down fast enough.
No, he didn't.
It took a shot to the chest. Thankfully, he bounced right up off the turf. No problems at all. Stayed in the game. But it's like,
yeah, when he goes down, his slides are like slow motion, going into second base, like it's the guy sitting there with the ball waiting to tag him out.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Just get down in a hurry.
Slides like it's a spring training game.
Yeah,
It's like, no, dude, this is the World Series here.
Get down in a hurry before you get hurt.
And we know Georgia hits hard. I mean, it's just a different sound that their defense makes when they hit somebody. Texas is getting there, which is cool to see. But like Georgia and Alabama for the last few years, they just hit harder. They move faster. Everything just is cleaner with them.
Well, it's just similar to playing Texas A&M and playing Oklahoma and like a rivalry game. It's just that. It's a championship type of game. So they hit championship type of hits.
They do. Yeah, it's going to feel like a rivalry game tonight.
Yes.
And I do think this is kind of a budding rivalry in the SEC. It'll never be at the level of Oklahoma or A&M. I'm not saying that, but there's some definite hatred between
I would say if Texas can find a way to win in Athens, it's going to get to be a rivalry a lot quicker. That's for sure.
I think so. Yeah. And look, these 2 teams won't play each other next year unless they meet in a conference title game or obviously in the playoff. So this is the last chance, at least on paper right now, that Texas can get a little revenge
for sure
against Georgia. It's interesting, though. Steve Sarkisian was asked about that at his press conference on Monday. He was asked if, the revenge angle was something that they were going to play at practice this week, and Steve Sarkisian kind of downplayed that. Here's the head coach.
No, I just want to win Saturday night at 7:30 and try to get to 5-1 in conference play. That's really the extent of it.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the revenge part of it is, hey, practice hard, do all the right things. You'll get your revenge if you the way you practice and the way you execute the plays. That's how you get your revenge. It's not just thinking about it, can't wait to get there and can't wait to get my revenge. No, you got to do all the right things in order to get that. That'll take care of itself.
Yeah, of course. Of course, you got to do all the right things. But man, if I'm a player in that locker room, I can't help but think about what happened last year.
The last 2 times he played.
Right, and what they did in Austin too, at DKR, at your place. They came in when you were the #1 team in America.
And embarrassed
they
you.
embarrassed you. That game was 23-0 at halftime. Your quarterback got benched because he was so bad. Then your backup got benched because he was so bad, and they went back to the starting quarterback. Now, Texas made it a little more respectable in the second half, but let's call a spade here. That game was not close. So
No.
you don't have to do that. It'd be great to do that. But, yeah, it's got to be in the back of these guys' mind all week long. Hell, for the last couple of weeks, and we remember what happened here, and we'd like to do something similar over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for your pride, you like to not just hang in there. You like to win the game, and you got to get it back for the 2 losses that you had last, and especially the second loss, because you were in the game.
You're right there.
In the champions, you were there. That's championship play. You were right in the game.
Yeah.
And you let that one kind of slip away. And this one, even on the road, you can't let it slip away. So you can't make mistakes. They're going to cause you that opportunity where it slips away from you. And as we talked about earlier, Brad, they're just going to keep on coming. They won't stop. Georgia is that team. You look around the nation and you see teams in the fourth quarter just kind of give in. The South Carolinas of the world, they're up 30-0, 30-3 on the Aggies.
3, yeah.
And then in the end, they give in. I mean, this group will not give in. They will still be there.
What happened to South Carolina today? How do you blow a 30-3 lead?
I don't know. You're probably going to have to ask the coach when the athletic director was talking to him on Sunday.
If I'm the athletic director, I'm not letting the coach back on the team plane. He's got to find his own way back from College Station. He doesn't get to travel with the rest of the team.
The kind of momentum that they were riding with, I thought, no, the Aggies aren't coming back today.
Yeah.
They'll make it kind of close, but they came all the way back and won the damn game.
Yeah, they did. Down by 27 at halftime, and I'm sure they're bragging and talking a lot of smack.
Glad they won.
You are a big Aggie fan for some reason. You are wearing a Longhorn shirt with about 500 Longhorns on it. Yet you were rooting for Texas A&M today.
We want them to be undefeated. We want to be the ones to pull that rug out from under them.
Oh, we will. I've never felt better about that.
I know.
Right now.
What you saw today.
Watching South Carolina do that, yeah, I feel pretty good about Texas's chances. But obviously, that's down the road. That's a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
Got more pressing issues to take care of today. And yeah, at times Texas was its own worst enemy in the 2 games last year. But 19 penalties combined in the 2 matchups against Georgia. Georgia had 13 sacks and 25 tackles for a loss. Obviously, you give them.
But we're not talking the P word again tonight.
Of course we are. We're always talking about the penalties with this Texas team. And if you could avoid 9.5, which was the average in the 2 games last year, I guess you can't really have half a penalty, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you could clean it up a little bit, go a long way into pulling off an upset tonight.
Oh, no doubt about it, because once again, you're on the road. Don't expect to get the calls. Kirby's going to get the calls.
Kirby's going to get the calls. Well, Texas hasn't been getting the calls all year.
They're home. Right. They don't get the calls.
The Longhorns are last in the SEC in opponent penalty yards this year.
Yeah, so you've got to force this on Georgia. You got to force them to hold you. You got to,
I'm less worried about that. I'm more worried about Texas not committing their own penalties. I'm not expecting Georgia to get a bunch of penalties tonight.
No.
I'm just worried about Texas not being dumb, not committing those false starts. I mean, in the Vanderbilt game, you had Warren Roberson, a cornerback, get too excited and reach across the line of scrimmage and grab a wide receiver.
That's kind of the bad of the bad right there.
What do you do? You can't do that stuff. You can't give this team free yards in that house.
No.
Right? You cannot go backwards on offense, and you cannot allow them to go forwards for free on defense.
I hate those 3 first down runs that are given a 5-yard penalty.
Right.
Hey, nice run on first. We didn't have to run.
Yeah.
You idiot. You just jumped off sides.
You can't have that.
No.
You can't have that. In Texas, it's been an issue for this Longhorn team all year. Now, remember the Oklahoma game, right? Only 4 penalties for Texas. So we know they are capable of playing a clean game. If you could have something like that, I mean, obviously Texas is very impressive. They ran away from Oklahoma in the second half. A big part of that was because the offense didn't have an accepted penalty after the first quarter. So if you could do something like that tonight, you got a very good chance to win. But if you keep going backwards, then it could get ugly.
Yeah, and this would be a night to really get off to a fast start because there's going to be some angst in this game for you.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there just is. You know what I'm saying?
But to your point about needing to play for all 60 minutes against Georgia, they have trailed after the first quarter in 6 of their 7 SEC games. And they're 5-1 in those 6. So It's like, of course you want to get off to a great start. That's better than the alternative. But it's like, there is no moment where you can let your foot off the gas.
No.
Your coach, we haven't heard Sark say all gas, no brakes very much. That was kind of his cute slogan right when he got the job. It's not really something he says a lot. This is one of those games, though, like
it certainly
you can't tap the brakes against this team. You just leave a slight creak in that door, they're going to break it down.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to call some great plays if you're down and have to come back. And when you're ahead, you're going to have to call great plays to stay aggressive.
Right.
Because the only way to win this game is to be aggressive, period.
Yeah.
On the road against this team.
Dude, I wouldn't be confident if Texas was up 30-3 at halftime today. I don't think they will be, for the record, but like I'm going to be scared for all 4 quarters of this game.
Yeah, of course.
This is one that's not over until the fat lady sings, and she won't start until there's about 10 seconds left in this football game tonight. So a lot to dive into. Again, welcome in the Texas Sports Unfiltered Texas pregame show, broadcasting live from Victory Lap on Rainey Street. If you're looking for a place to watch the game, come here. Giant projection screen here on the back patio. They've got tons of great drinks. They've got great pizza. We're giving away koozies. We're giving away a cowboy hat courtesy of our friends at Cavender's. So come out and see us. All right, we still talked about the Texas offense going up against the Georgia defense. Again, it's just insane how good Georgia was up front last year. The hope is, look, that's been a problem for Georgia this season. They are 119th in the country in sacks. They are 125th in the country in TFLs. They don't have that Jalen Walker. They don't have that Mykel Williams. They don't have that just bona fide, sure thing, first-round pick. You can't make them look good tonight. You can't have a game plan that acts like, oh, they're not that good, so we can do whatever we want on offense. This cannot be the game where Georgia figures out its pass rush and starts wreaking havoc in your backfield.
No, even with your offensive line now that it's played together for a couple of weeks now, you can't. There can't be any excuses why Georgia all of a sudden got good on the defensive line. They've been okay. They haven't been great, but you don't want to. This is not the night to make them great.
No, it's not. And I think you got to be quick with the passing game. A lot of screens. I know Sark would love to have those explosive shots over the top, those slower developing routes down the field, but I still don't have enough faith in this offensive line to be able to do something like that. So what worked so well against Vanderbilt was the quick passing game.
Sure.
Arch Manning wasn't throwing the ball down the field a whole lot. Hell, the biggest play of the game for the Texas offense was a little bubble screen to Ryan Wingo. They went for 75 yards. Like, stuff like that won't be as easy against Georgia. I understand that, but I think this Texas offense is at its best when Arch Manning is getting the ball out of his hands quickly.
Yeah, well, I mean, when he's staying upright, and you're right, when he stays upright and gets rid of the ball, that's best for the team. And so I don't know why you all of a sudden get away with that, go away from it, and start thinking I can drop him back. He can stay in the shotgun, drop back another 4 yards, and throw the ball down the field. You won't have that much time.
Right. Yeah, it'd be silly to try something like that. And again, that's the way you can make this average Georgia pass rush look really, really good if you just keep dropping back like you did against Florida. I mean, we saw Texas. I know it was a different offensive line, but Georgia's a lot better than Florida. Not breaking any news to anybody here.
No.
And because of your game plan, you were so confident that your offensive line could hold up and your receivers could get open down the field. Arch Manning was running for his life the entire game. He got hit a ton. I think Texas gave up 36 pressures in that football game, and obviously it got out of hand.
Yeah, and I've got to believe the pressures that are coming from Georgia right now are not on the outside because they don't have those great outside rushers.
Yeah.
But up the middle, I mean, they still got big dudes.
They do. Their linebackers have been the best part of their pass.
Yeah, I can understand that.
A little bit of sound from Steve Sarkisian talking about what he has seen from this Georgia defense this year, despite some of the numbers on paper maybe not being as impressive as we're used to.
I see these 3 linebackers hit the quarterback, and it's all 3 of them, and so whether it's C.J. Allen, Wilson, Chris Cole, those guys have length. They're elite rushers. They're very gifted at when they call even their run pressures of getting to the quarterback, and then in some of the obvious passing downs, we know they have a great package on third down. So, I think one of the keys is always everybody wants to look at sacks the other key is, are you affecting the quarterback as much as it is sacking the quarterback? And so, hey, we've got to do a great job of identifying those guys and minimizing their ability to affect the game. Naturally, I think we have one turnover in the last 4 games on offense. And so our ability to continue to protect the ball, I think, is paramount. And then defensively, we've got to find a way to get the ball off them, whether it's off the quarterback, the runners, affecting the quarterback in the pocket, forcing some errant throws. That's when we're at our best. And the ball is of such a value to us that we got to continue to make that an emphasis this week throughout the week, so that's an emphasis Saturday night.
Yeah, this group will have to protect the quarterback, and running backs will have to step up versus their linebackers. Their linebackers appreciate when the guards are covered up and the linebackers come, and your back has to step up there, because they have a way of shaking you and getting around you, and they have a way of lifting you off the ground and sticking you right into the lap of the quarterback.
Yeah.
So you've got that's the physicality when you talk about that. It's got to be a physical game. That includes the running backs too on picking up the blitz.
God.
Can't be a bunch of cut blocks. You got to stand toe to toe with them, and that's not fun.
Trey Wisner was so good at that against Vanderbilt. He was awesome.
Yeah, he's got a way of squaring up on a guy and then riding him in a direction that he wants them to go to, and that's a skill that just doesn't happen. I mean, that's a part that you work on. Getting your body squared up to a rusher that weighs 15, 20, sometimes 20, 25 pounds more than you weigh, but then squaring up, making that initial contact and guiding him where you want to, not having him guide you back to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Or when guys half-heartedly go after a guy and try to cut block him, and they may be successful with the cut, but the guy comes over the top of you and he's right back and he starts crawling at the quarterback's legs. That sucks too. That's not a good feeling.
How hard is that to get your running backs to be willing, not just able, but willing to stick their nose in there and pick up those blitzers like that?
That comes in the first time you start prepping that stuff before you start getting in pads. But once you get in pads, that's an everyday job. You just start, as I did goofy 7-man sled. I'm the only running back coach you ever saw on a 7-man sled. They're like, what the hell are we, offensive linemen? No.
Yeah.
Florida.
And the players did it?
Yeah, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They all loved it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's you got to be physical, and it's not just on the lines of scrimmage.
No.
Trey Wise, like Vanderbilt blitzed a lot. They would bring
He
linebackers
steps right up. Once he knows who his defender is, he goes to him. He doesn't wait for them to come to him. He goes directly to where they are.
And Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann are so smart. I mean, they're two of the best defensive minds in the sport. Like, they've watched a lot of film on this team. They've seen the struggles on the offensive line. And you have to think, Buck, left guard and center. It's been a huge problem for the Longhorns all year. They're on their 4th left guard right now with Cole Hudson. And Connor Robertson's the backup center, right? Those guys are experienced. They played a lot of football at Texas, but that whole area has been a major concern for the Longhorns this year. You just know that Kirby Smart is going to dial up all sorts of pressures to try to confuse those guys and just to see if they're up for the challenge.
And he's going to hope that your center is going to have to help your left guard out, because now that leaves your right guard pretty vulnerable right then.
Yeah.
They're going to pick on somebody tonight.
They are. They're going to try somebody, and if it doesn't work against him, they're going to try
somebody else.
Like Brandon Baker's still a first-year starter at right tackle. He's been a lot better as of late. He's still giving up the second most pressures of any offensive lineman on this team.
But they may feel like they've got an outside rusher that's starting to come around. So,
or just a linebacker. They don't bring the linebackers up the A gap. They might bring them off the A. All right, let's see what you got, Brandon Baker. Like last year, Cameron Williams, who's now in the NFL, not playing a whole lot, but now in the NFL, they just attacked him all game long. He was horrible in both matchups against Georgia, and that was an experienced player. Brandon Baker, again, year 1 as a starter at right tackle. That guy is going to be tested a lot tonight, too. He is, Arch Manning's obviously the most important player, but if you start power ranking the most important Longhorns tonight, Brandon Baker at right tackle is going to be asked to do a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously, all the offensive linemen are, but he's one of the lesser proven guys that you have, and I think Kirby Smart's going to make him prove himself tonight.
And you can't blame him.
No, of course not.
He's the guy you go after.
It's a big game. Like Kirby Smart, he knows what he's doing. He wins a lot of these games, and his team doesn't shy away from any moment, anybody, at any time. And I don't know what he's going to say this week to get his guys motivated. because Georgia's favored, and it feels like everybody's picking the Bulldogs to win this game. Last year, Texas was number one. The game was in Austin. The Longhorns were favored. A lot of people were picking Texas to win. Easy to motivate your guys. Nobody believes in you. What does Kirby do when his team's favored and they're playing at home and everyone thinks they're going to win? What's he going to say?
He just lies and tells them that nobody believes in you.
Yeah.
You don't have a shot.
It's amazing. They've won.
All he has to do is he'll start talking about what's happened during the course of the day, today's games.
Yeah.
The coaches like to bring that up when they have a night game and certain teams didn't play well today. He'll bring those into play and how such and such had this kind of lead and look what happened and how they had to fight back. It'll work to his advantage somehow. He'll try to make it work to his advantage.
The most impressive stat of every impressive stat that Georgia has in the last 5 years or so under Kirby Smart, they've won 49 straight games against unranked teams. Obviously, Texas is not an unranked team, but sometimes teams play down to their competition.
No, they don't do that.
We've seen the Longhorns do that a lot, regardless of who's been coaching around here. And Georgia, look, they'll play some close games. They don't blow everybody out, but they just find a way. I don't know how Kirby Smart does it, how he's able to get his guys motivated for every single Saturday, regardless of if they're favored or dogs, but that's obviously one of the most impressive parts of everything that he does.
What I like about the Horns right now is they play up to their competition.
Yeah.
Like we saw against Vanderbilt. That was a top 10 team. They played up to the competition. They got out to a quick start. They played hard, and they played hard throughout the game. They didn't give in. That's why they won that football game. They didn't give in, they didn't give in against Mississippi State. Very much they could have given in, at that game. Or Kentucky. There were times where you could have just given in and said, you know what, we gave it a really, really good shot.
Not our day.
It's not our day.
Yeah.
But this team is, as I said, they've been battle tested now. They've been in those types of game, and they'll be in one again tonight.
Well, here's the thing, right? Texas does have those 2 top 10 wins, which is great. One of them was in Austin. The other one was a neutral site.
Right.
They played one top 10 team on the road. It was Ohio State. They lost that game. They didn't get blown out. They lost by a touchdown. They had plenty of opportunities to win that game. But this team has just not been very good on the road this year. They're 2-2. Their 2 wins, the Kentucky game and the Mississippi State game, where they played very down to their competition.
Right.
And they were lucky. Let's be honest. They were lucky to win either of those, and somehow they won both. Here's Steve Sarkisian earlier this week talking about his team just needing to play better on the road.
I think at the end of the day, one of the key components on the road is trying to minimize the self-inflicted wounds. And when you look at the 2 losses that we had, we had opportunities at Ohio State to really change the complexion of that game. And I think part of that is red zone efficiency offensively. I think, too, the ball. We didn't win the turnover battle in either of those games. So those are 2 main components there. I do think in both those games there were things to take away from that I was proud of. I thought our guys showed great poise and composure late in both of those games where we got the ball with an opportunity to either tie or go win those games. Now, we didn't capitalize, but I think we learned a lot about ourselves in our fight. Even though we were probably a more immature team at those times, I think those games helped us later in the year when we were in some of those other tighter games on the road. So ideally, starting a little faster will help us. But again, this game's going to take all 60 minutes. It doesn't matter who gets the lead early, as we found out playing these guys in the past. This is going to be a 60-minute game.
I mean, this over the last couple of weeks of the games that they played and these really tight ball games, they truly didn't piss down their legs. I mean, they really did. They hung in there and got the win some kind of way.
Yeah. And
that's important. I mean, and that comes from experience. You're right. Now, I don't like to keep having those experiences, and nobody does, but I think they've grown from that. I think that helps you out even in a game like this, because there will be obstacles in this game, there's going to be more than 1 or 2. So how they're used to coming back and battling back will be very, very important.
Yeah, that's a big key for me. I know we'll get to your 3 keys to victory in hour number 2 of our pregame show, but you got to be able to respond to adversity. And the good news is, Texas faced a lot of it in Lexington. They faced a lot of it in Starkville. They found a way to win both of those games.
We'll say, well, why, they should have never been at that point. Well,
I agree.
So what? They did.
They won.
They won.
No one's going to care if it's ugly. No one's going to care if they're down 24 and win this game. No one's going to care if they're up 24 and blowing, but find a way. Just win.
No, we won't talk about how, they should have beat Georgia by 2 touchdowns. No, they beat Georgia. That's exactly what you're looking for in
Beat
this game.
Georgia. Yeah, that's you'll take it. All right, what about offensive player of the game predictions? Of course, we'll go back to the Texas offense against the Georgia defense, but we'll also flip the script and talk about the Longhorn defense going up against what has been a very, very good Bulldog offense this season. But Buck, our offensive player of the game prediction brought to you by Moonshine, Patio, Bar, and Grill. Who you got?
I got Trey Wisner.
Okay.
I have Trey Wisner. I've got to believe he's as healthy as he's going to be for the season. You know, he's had a lot of time off. I think that hamstring is healed up. I think his opportunity to get outside on the perimeter, running between the tackles, he's the best they have running between the tackles anyway.
Yeah.
But I think with his speed and his quickness, more so his quickness against guys in open field, I think he's the guy who's going to really, really make a difference. They need him to get a bunch of carries tonight, and they don't need him sticking his hand up saying, I got to come out. We don't want to see any of that. That's the deal. I turned my back, and I didn't quite see that.
Tapping his head.
Oh, no tapping out tonight.
No, we need you playing.
He's got to be at his best tonight, really.
Can we get a stat line projection for Trey Wisner?
Yeah, I like to see him carry the ball around 22 times.
Okay.
You know, and I like to see him go for 110 yards. Now, that's wishful thinking.
All right.
I like to see the whole group go for 110 yards, but if he himself can get to 110 yards, it's going to be a hell of a football game.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, I mean, we haven't seen a Texas running back go over the century mark all season in any game.
Yeah, I mean,
Any game, even against the nobodies in non-conference play earlier in the year.
I mean, it's almost like you got to be licking your chops if you're a running back and you're playing behind the hedges on a Saturday night,
Between the hedges,
game between the hedges,
between them
in
somewhere.
them, whatever.
in
I
'em.
mean, 6:30 at night. I mean, it's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah,
You know, at a night game there, you've never played there before. I mean, and everybody, the whole country's going to be watching that game. So
if you could get a Trey Wisner College Station performance tonight,
Sure.
that would be awesome. Now, Georgia's better. It's a tougher place to win. I get all of that. But, yeah, if you could just hand the ball off to Trey Wisner 20, 25, shot 30 times and just say, hey, man, you're doing it. We're just going to keep giving you the rock.
yeah, we haven't seen that kid like we saw him last year. He hadn't been that same player, and he's had these little nagging injuries that are kind of kept him down, including the offensive line has kind of kept him down too.
That's
But
not helped. I
No,
mean, we're
that's not-
9 games into the season.
Right.
Trey Wisner is
by the way, the offensive line is not going to change. They're not going to all of
No,
a sudden be road graders now.
No, they won't. They definitely won't. Not against this team. But Trey Wisner, 338 yards through 9 games this year. And I guess it's not through 9 games for him because he missed a few with that hamstring injury, but the Longhorns have played 9 games. Trey Wisner, who went for nearly 1,100 last year, has just 338 to lead the Longhorns. That
Wow.
just goes to show you how much of a struggle it has been for Texas on the ground all year long.
That has been a struggle.
But I like that. I like you going with the running back. I've got to go with the quarterback. Sorry to do it.
I mean, perfect.
He has to be. He has to be. I look at what Ty Simpson, Alabama's quarterback, did against Georgia. I look at what Joey Aguilar, Tennessee's quarterback, did against Georgia. I look at what Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss quarterback, did against Georgia. Those guys all threw the ball at least 36 times. Those guys all didn't turn the football over.
And they will run.
Those guys all had rushing touchdowns in their games against Georgia. Like Arch Manning's played his 2 best games of the year in his 2 most recent performances. He threw it 46 times against Mississippi State. He threw it 33 against Vanderbilt. Those are his 2 highest passing attempt numbers all season long. I don't think it's a coincidence that those were his best
Sure.
games. Like the coaching staff made it a point of emphasis, put the ball in his hands, get him in a rhythm, give him some easy throws early on, let him build some confidence and make some things happen. I think that has to be. I'd love for you to be right and Trey Wisner to run it 22 times for 110 yards. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think this game is going to come down to whether or not Arch Manning can be the guy we've seen the last 2 weeks, or if he reverts back to being the guy we saw against Ohio State. Hell, the guy we saw against Kentucky. You don't have to go all the way
Right,
back
no.
to week 1. It's not like it's been a total uphill climb for Arch Manning. There's been some roller coaster rides. There's been some ups and downs this year. You need him to play maybe the game of his life tonight because I think the ball is going to be in his hands. I think he's going to throw it at least 35 times tonight.
Yeah, so I think he's going to throw it. Yeah, I mean, 35 to 40 times in the air with this group wouldn't be a bad thing because, you know, as many yards as I think and as many carries I'd like to see a guy get, I don't know if Sark's going to be hanging around with 22, 24 carries by a guy unless it's successful.
Yeah.
And I mean, and even stalemates for him is not enough. He can throw the ball and get 2 yards or 6 yards or whatever and just dumping it off the backs on the perimeter. So why waste your time just turning around and handing it off, having your offensive line get stuffed? If that doesn't work, I could see letting Arch just go again.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, I wish I knew the health of Ryan Wingo. I'd love to know how he played this week and practice this week.
The insider said he was fine, and there were no lingering issues from that dislocated thumb. Now, he had drop problems before the injury, so maybe he was just dropping it just as often as he was before.
You mean the normal amount of times he dropped?
Right, exactly. So I don't know what no lingering issues means. Like, maybe he dropped it 1 out of every 10 times, and they're like, well, we're used to him doing that, so that's how it goes. But yeah, I mean, he's a key. He's a difference maker for this offense.
Yes, he is.
I mean, you've got your full complement of weapons on the outside, and obviously, if your quarterback's going to play well, your receivers have to be really, really good too. And there's no doubt Ryan Wingo is going to be a big part of this offensive game plan. Finding the way to get him the ball in space is critical for Texas.
Well, I'll say this. If I didn't pick Trey Widener, I was about to pick Livingston.
Okay,
that was good. Those are the two choices I was debating. This young guy has done a lot. And especially early in the season, and then he almost got his knee decapitated. And I think now he's back to the part of being healthy enough, having enough explosive, moves and coming in and out of breaks again.
Yeah.
That guy can make a difference. He's long. He can catch, and he's very dependable. I think that was going to be almost was my choice tonight.
We just haven't seen a ton of Parker Livingston lately. Like, only 6 catches in his last 3 games. Now, he does have 2 touchdowns in that stretch, 2 of them against Mississippi State.
And he's great down the scoring zone.
But it just feels like since Emmett Mosley the 5th came back and has gotten more and more incorporated in the offense, we've seen Parker Livingston's role go down a little bit. So
we'll need them all.
I'd love to see him make an impact, but I think he's just number 4 on the depth chart at wide receiver. So I feel like the 3 guys you're going to see the most tonight will be Wingo, Moore, and Emmett Mosley. Now, Livingston's going to get a lot of snaps, but how much of a focal point? I think he should be more of a part of this offense, to be honest with you. But it just feels like he hasn't quite been as much lately. So how much does he get out there? And I wonder if we'll see any of the freshman wide receivers. I mean, we didn't see them much against Wade.
No, I don't think
that are way worse than Georgia. I don't know if this is the game where Stark's going to entrust his young guys.
He's not going to expose those guys tonight. No.
No, the circle of trust is small in that wide receiver room, and it takes a lot to get in there, apparently. A lot to get invited to the cool kids table.
Yeah, no kidding. You're sitting there with the little kids still.
Yeah.
The freshmen. You stood there with the freshman table.
Yeah, even though you're a senior, you're still sitting there.
I know.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, all right, our offensive player of the game prediction, Buck, brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Yeah, right down the road here.
Yeah, man.
Across the street, really. Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Great brunch. Great lunch, great brunch, great drinks. They've got everything. 2 locations, one right here across the road from us there on Red River, and of course at Avery Ranch area. Love the folks at the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Always have, always will. Now
more than 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah,
they're fantastic, man. And for brunch time, if you're thinking about a spot for brunch and you want to take family or you want to take your roommates or whatever, as I said, they have a great Sunday brunch. And they let you just keep on coming back for more and more.
And don't forget, I think we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago.
And don't forget now, it's a little construction down here. They got their own parking lot, folks.
Don't forget that either. But how about an all-you-can-eat Thanksgiving buffet?
Sweet.
On Turkey Day. Make your reservations now, moonshinegrill.com. If you don't want to host, if you don't want to do dishes, if you don't want to cook, you don't want to do any of that stuff.
If you're somebody who's worried about trying to travel during that time, you just want to say, hey,
nothing's going on with the planes right now. My traveling's easy this time of year, especially right now.
If you just want to hang out and say, you know what, tell your folks, I don't want to take this chance of getting back to you and not being able to get back here.
My family wasn't hosting. That's where I would be. I'd be at Moonshine.
Absolutely.
I ain't doing that myself. Not a chance. Love Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill, one of our favorite spots in the city, bringing you our offensive player of the game prediction. All right, but before we get to Texas, Georgia, I should say, before we get back into Texas, Georgia, how about our first round of scoreboard updates powered by our great friends at Gobundance?
Gobundance.
We'll tell you a little bit more about them momentarily. We talked about it earlier. The game of the day, at least so far in college football, number 3, Texas A&M trailed South Carolina 30-3 at halftime. At home, the Aggies were 20-point favorites. They were down by 27 at recess, and then A&M outscores the Cox 28-0 in the second half. That's why I don't like Cox right there, bud.
There you go. I mean, I'm going to say that that's going to hurt. Mississippi State, you're talking about hurting your program now.
South Carolina, you mean?
South Carolina, yeah. their coach, they're going to have to talk with him on Sunday.
Yeah, they're 3-7.
Wow.
Right? That was like, oh my God, Shane Beamer might be saving his job with this performance. You go on the road and beat an undefeated team, like, all right.
Oh, no, that would have saved his job.
Maybe we can ignore the other results that we've had this year, but you blow a lead like that.
Man, oh man, oh man.
South Carolina shut out in the second half. The biggest comeback in school history for the Aggies. The biggest comeback in the SEC in forever. And A&M 10-0. They got one game before Texas. That is
Yes.
Sanford next week. So the Aggies, they passed their final hurdle before coming to Austin on Black Friday.
And we wouldn't care. We don't care what they're ranked coming here. So
No,
they're going to lose anyway.
yeah, we'll win that game. I feel very good about that.
Absolutely.
Good comeback by Texas A&M. Again, a 1-point win over 3-7 South Carolina. Not what they had in mind.
Or did South Carolina play hard in the first half?
They did.
Man.
They did indeed. Number 2, Indiana taking care of Wisconsin 31-7. 9th-ranked Notre Dame. I think a team that a lot of people are rooting against right now. They had no issue with Pittsburgh on the road, 37-15. Remember, Pitt's coach said they were okay losing by 100. They only lost by 22.
That's bad.
Congrats to them. Big upset for the G5, Navy over South Florida. North Texas still has a shot to make it to the college football playoff with South Florida going down today. Michigan holding off Northwestern, and Arizona on the road taking down Cincinnati.
Yeah, there's a lot going on because Georgia Tech's getting beat by Boston College.
Whoa.
28-17, I believe.
Congratulations to your alma mater right there. Is it too early for a congrats?
Yeah, it's way too early.
You guys will find a way to blow it here.
1-9 Boston College beating Georgia Tech, yes.
Bill O'Brien was getting a little testy with the media this week.
Yes, he was.
Maybe it's working.
That would be quite an upset for BC.
Would he save his job with that one?
There's not been a lot of whispers about him losing his gig. What else are they going to find?
Anybody?
Anybody
But
You're right
him.
about that.
Yeah, I don't know what his buyout is, and I don't know if he has the money.
They don't do buyouts
I don't know if they do buyouts there.
at Chestnut Hill. No.
No, they don't. And the game going on right now on ABC, midway through the third quarter, Alabama has scored a touchdown to tie Oklahoma. Extra point pending. So if the Crimson Tide knock this one through, they will be up 21-20.
See, that's hard for me to root for Oklahoma. I should be rooting for them because it makes the win over Oklahoma that much stronger for Texas.
Yeah, I just can't root for OU.
Yeah.
It's not how it works for me.
Just like you can't root for the Aggies, which I don't understand.
No, I'm not a communist, so that's why. It's really that simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for OU today. I hope Alabama wins this game. But
There
you're
you
right. You're right. If Oklahoma does win, it would make the Longhorns win over OU and Red River look a little bit more impressive. So there you go. Your first round of scoreboard updates. Texas Tech, by the way, destroying UCF 38-9 in Lubbock. Red Raiders on their way to the college football.
Yeah, they're about
playoff.
to walk through the Big 12.
Yeah, well,
Finally.
they've been doing that all year, and they're about to punch their ticket to the conference championship game. If they win that, they will be in the CFP. All right, our scoreboard updates powered by our friends at Gobundance. Daryl K. Royal once said, football doesn't build character. It eliminates the weak ones. That's Texas football. Toughness, discipline, and rising above the competition. That's exactly what Gobundance is all about. A brotherhood of entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders who challenge each other to push past limits and live life at the highest level. If you're ready to level up in business, your family, your health, and in life, Gobundance is your team. Join the tribe today at gobundance.com/TSU. GOBUNDANCE.com/TSU.
Gobundance.
All right, so let's flip the script here. Let's talk
Okay.
about the Texas defense going up against the Georgia offense. No, the reason Georgia's 8-1 this year, the reason they're ranked in the top 5, the reason they look like a legitimate national championship contender again, it's not really their defense. Their defense hasn't been bad, but they haven't been as characteristically good, right, as what we're used to seeing from Georgia. Their offense this year, led by Gunnar Stockton, has been fantastic. They're coming off of maybe their best performance of the season, putting up 41 on the road in Starkville last year. This Georgia offense is really good, and this Texas defense coming off of back-to-back not-so-great performances, obviously giving up 38 against Mississippi State, allowing that huge comeback against Vanderbilt in the late stages of the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago. What's your confidence level in this Texas defense having a bounce back against a really, really good offensive unit?
Well, I think they'll play like they always do, the defense. I think they'll play great defense. I think they've got to play great run defense.
Yeah.
Because once again, here we go. We got an SEC game where University of Texas will be tested by somebody else's run game. It hadn't worked a lot over the last 3 years. And tonight, this is a group at Georgia that will continue to do that, BK. If you give them, as we talked about Kirby Smart, I mean, that's why guys win the national championships. If they run with power and they run and they get their run game going, they don't care to throw the ball. It's no big deal to him. I don't have to have Gunnar Stockton running around, taking hits, running football himself. If my run game is going,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to find ways to run the ball against Texas. They all want to do it. Most of them has failed. But if Georgia has any success in doing it, they will really, really continue. They would rather say, you know what, I'm not trying to be balanced here. If we're having some success running the ball against Texas, let's continue to do that.
And Kirby Smart's still the head coach.
Yes, he is.
I know he's not the offensive coordinator. I know he's not the offensive play caller, but it's still his team.
Yes.
He would love to out-physical you every Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, if they can play smash mouth football and they can punch you in the face, that's exactly what he wants to do.
That's all they want to do. They ran it for more than 300 against Mississippi State last week. Texas ran it for like 70 against Mississippi State. I know Mississippi State's not Texas. I understand that. But the Georgia ground game, they figured something out 7 days ago. And they've got a couple of really talented running backs with Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowens. And then the quarterback, Gunnar Stockton.
Yes.
7 rushing touchdowns this year to lead the Dogs. They got a few different guys. And you're right. I mean, this is a Georgia team that averages 200 yards a game on the ground this year. They're not going to be scared that Texas has a top 3 run defense. They're going to be trying all game long.
No, they're going to test it. Like I said, we understand that Georgia will be there for 4 quarters. And when we say that, they don't give up on any particular thing. They don't give up on the run because they're not having a lot of success. All of a sudden, they'll start getting 2 series of running 3 straight runs in the 4th quarter. And they'll be down 7. They don't care.
No.
They don't have to start passing the ball. They feel like they're still going to run it. They still like they're going to overpower you eventually, the way they play the game. So you've got to have, you got to play the way you've been playing defensively. And when you say that, BK, they've stuffed people.
Yeah.
They have been really, really good, especially in the second half of games where teams would like to run it out.
For sure.
Nobody's been able to do that against them.
No, Mississippi State couldn't do it.
No.
Kentucky couldn't do it.
No.
Yeah, Texas has been really good. Again, 3rd-ranked rushing defense in the country, giving up just over 78 yards per game on the ground. So that's a huge key, right? There's a million matchups within the matchup right here. But Georgia averages 200 yards rushing. Texas is averaging giving up 78 yards.
Yeah.
Can you keep the number? It doesn't have to be 78 or below. You'd love for it to be there. But can you keep it closer to 100 than 200?
Oh, for sure.
That's a massive key for the Longhorns.
The thing is that Texas has done Georgia's done such a great job with their wide receivers this year. They found guys can actually catch the football. They go to them and they make big plays.
Yeah.
And they're just starting to hit their stride really. When you look at this Georgia team, over the last 4 or 5 games, now they're starting to develop these guys. Like Gunnar Stockton he's got a rapport with the guys at wide receiver now, and he's got more than one favorite. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to just go to one guy. They'll have those tight ends, but better cover them up tonight.
Yeah, they got 3 really, really good tight ends.
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, Georgia's not just run, if you stop the run game, then they got no ways to move the football, right? Their passing game has been good enough, but it's the same story regardless of the opponent.
Yes.
If you can make any team one-dimensional, you've got a much better chance to win.
No doubt.
So if you can stymie that Georgia rushing attack, which again is coming off of his best game of the year, that's going to go a long way into helping you win. Hero Canoe, Alex January, Levon Johnson, Murad Watson. Texas, they don't have that T'Vondre Sweat.
No.
They don't have that Byron Murphy. There's no first-round defensive tackle on this team, but they got 5 guys, burgers and fries, that they feel pretty good about.
Sure.
And that's like the rotation is going to be key, and those guys are going to have to do their job. That's an advantage that Texas has that I don't know if anybody else on Georgia's schedule has. They got a bunch of guys they can rotate to where you can keep dudes fresh over the course of 60 minutes, where it's not just your 5 offensive line can wear down the same defensive front the whole game. You got that rotation that should help you as this game goes along.
Yeah, and as we talk about the running backs and everything else in this offense, Gunnar Stockton can run.
He can.
And he's pretty timely when it's time to take off and run for first downs.
And that's the thing. Like I hope, because Texas for 3.5 quarters kept Diego Pavia in check. I mean, they had that dude in hell for most of the game. Like Gunnar Stockton's
You're right.
very good, but like similar dual threat type of quarterback. I think Stockton has a better arm. He can move. I could compare him to Sam Ellinger just with the receding hairline.
Sure.
That's what I think Gunnar Stockton is. But yeah, I like the fact that Texas did a really good job in their most recent game containing a dual threat quarterback. Like getting after the passer is important. Sacks are going to be important, but also just maintaining your integrity in those rush lanes is going to be a big key.
Yeah, you can't let him loose. I mean, don't turn your back on him. And if you're in charge of spying him and you got no real coverage, no drop, when he starts to move around, you got to move with him.
Yeah,
because he'll go, and he's a big, strong dude.
he is.
He really is. He's the X factor in the run game right now for them.
Oh, he looks like he's about 52 years old, and he's only a junior. He can come back for another year of college football. I don't think he's a guy who's going to leave early. I don't think he's like a first-round pick.
No, that guy wants to have all his drinks bought for the rest of his life in Athens.
Yeah, it's a good
and live
point
there and
right
never
there.
leave.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy, you know.
Oh,
All the NIL money he's probably making in Georgia, like he could stay in Athens. He could just go to Atlanta, like an hour up the road, and be taken care of for the rest of his life. Yeah, he already won an SEC championship last year.
Still rattle like when he first started to get the start. Took him a while. He'd throw some bad passes. He'd be inaccurate. That guy's like a seasoned player now.
That's where you give him a lot of credit. Like it's his first year as a starter, but it looks like he's been doing it for a long time. And go back to the offseason. I think everybody's biggest question about Georgia was the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you lose Carson Beck, who wasn't that good, but like we kind of knew what he was. In comes Gunnar Stockton, who set a bunch of records in high school, but like not the super highest graded recruit. And the guy who just never could find his way into the starting lineup, so people just didn't expect much from him. 15 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, just 2 interceptions for him. Again, I'm not saying he's a Heisman winner. He's not the best quarterback in the country, but he has been far from a question mark for this Georgia team.
No, he's not. He's not the weak link.
No,
whatsoever on this football team. He is, and those guys will run through a wall for this dude.
I think so
because he'll do the same for them.
Yeah.
When it comes to taking off and diving for the end zone or doing what it takes to get a first down, he will do that for him.
Just 2 interceptions.
Yes.
Right. Like Sark talked about it, a big point of emphasis for the Longhorns in practice this week has been getting takeaways, right? Stripping the football, finding ways to create those turnovers. Everybody knows how important those can be.
And we know how Georgia plays. That's how they've always been playing.
Yeah, Georgia's only turned it over 9 times this year. Now, Texas has only turned it over 7 times this year, which is top 10 in the country. The Longhorns have been elite at protecting the football. This can't be the game. I'll knock on wood here.
Right.
This can't be the game where you revert back to bad decisions and you're giving Georgia short fields. Remember, the 2 games last year, you had 3 turnovers in both games. You just were giving Georgia easy opportunities to score. Both teams have been very good with the football this year. If you're Texas and you can win the turnover battle tonight.
Yeah, the turnover battle, I don't think you're going to – the rushing battle, I don't think you're going to win. But you also need to win the special teams battle.
That's
I know they got a great punter, but I think you got a great punt returner. So you need to offset this great punter with a return or 2 that are, they don't all have to go back to the house. They can go for 15 yards. You can change field position with 15 yards, 20 yards.
Yeah.
So it's I think when people think of, this is how you win the special teams battle with your punt returner, they don't have to go to the house. They don't. They just got to change field position. They got to give you some momentum and hurt the other team.
You think they'll punt it to Ryan Niblett today?
I don't think so.
Not even once.
You've talked about the punter and how good he is. That's a pro already playing college football. He knows how to directional punt to the corners and things like that. He can kick it for 35 yards and get 0 returns instead of kicking it 45 and having it into this guy's arms and no telling what can happen.
Yeah, but you don't think, Georgia, they're so confident.
No.
We're Georgia. We never lose at home. We can punt it to Ryan Niblett. We'll stop
I think
him. I think
that's a mistake. That'll be a mistake, and that'll be a mistake I'm watching tonight.
It's a mistake I'm rooting for.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that too.
Yeah, give number 21 a chance.
Usually just punt the ball to him and he took it back 45 yards.
That'd be amazing.
How stupid was that? That's not like Kirby. Kirby Smart doesn't. He seems to make all the right decisions when it comes to things like that. Once again, as you said, he's the coach.
Yeah.
So all these other decisions by guys on his staff that this is what we like to do, before they get ready to think about doing stuff like that, he goes, no, that's not what we're going to do. No, we're going to directional punt this ball right in this left-hand corner.
Are we going to get a clap tonight from
could.
Kirby Smart?
You could.
He's clapping, remember?
Yeah, you could get a quick timeout by him saying, no, what were you going to do? oh, we're going to punt it to him, coach. We're going to cover this well.
Yeah.
And then he's going to look at you, after the game, when you put your clothes on, just keep on walking. I want that ball kicked in that corner. Remember, we talked about this all week.
You don't get to drive the Hellcat after the game. If we win this game, everybody gets cars to drive down the streets of Athens. But if you screw up, now you got to get the Prius tonight.
No.
Sorry about that.
You don't get to do that. You're making these decisions on your own, and Kirby Smart will say, no, I make the decisions here.
Yeah, he'll make the decision to not suspend any of their players despite 50 DUIs and speeding.
No, they don't do that.
We don't worry about that.
No.
No problems here. Nothing to see here. Yeah, a lot to unpack there. So we talked earlier about how one of the biggest mismatches between these two teams last year was the Georgia D-line against the Texas offensive line. The other biggest one was special teams, right? I mean, Bert Auburn couldn't make anything last year. The Texas punting game was a joke last year, and he didn't have Ryan Niblett returning punts. Not that Silas Bolden was bad, but he wasn't what Ryan Niblett has been this year. Georgia is still elite. Unfortunately, it's like the same guys that we saw last year for Georgia. But for Texas, I mean, the Longhorns are number 3 in the country right now in special teams FEI. So they have been really good. The kicker's a lot better. The punter's a lot better. Obviously, Niblett's been the best return man in the country. That's the hope. It's like the fact that won't be a total domination by Georgia should make this game a little bit closer.
And, for me, on the road, a game like this, national TV, if they're not expecting it, if you want to get them back, you want a revenge, you could fake a punt against them.
Oh,
dude, I would love to see that happen.
I would too.
I would love to see that turnabout being fair play. That would be awesome.
Yeah, they got us in the SEC.
Oh, my goodness, would that be great?
Texas missed 2 field goals. They averaged 39 yards per punt, and they got on a fake punt on a 4th down.
It'd be great to get them early in the football game on a fake punt.
Oh, but that's, if it doesn't work,
I know.
You know what's said.
Oh, yeah, you'll start talking about, that was the reason the game was this or the game was that fake punt.
You're still taking that chance?
I'd take that chance against Georgia.
Okay.
You got to take chances in this football game, championship game, so you're going to take kind of championship chances, I believe.
Whatever it takes.
Absolutely.
There's no tomorrow, and you got to treat it as such. So, yeah, special teams will be a big factor in this game. Again, hidden yardage, too. Just having a punter and Jack Bomeister who can pin Georgia deep and make them drive the length of the field, whereas last year, just 39-yard punt. It was a gift for Georgia every time you trotted the punter onto the field.
Yeah,
so.
will Georgia be patient and trying to drive some distance? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be looking for big explosive plays? Everybody looks for them, but is Georgia willing to run the ball a bunch of times, just kind of yards by yards by yards? As you say, kind of muck it up, because they love to muck it up.
Yeah.
But they do like their explosive plays this year. They like that quarterback throwing it down the field.
They haven't done it a ton, but when they have,
they work. They seem to work.
And I think you have to, again, with what the Texas secondary has looked like in these last 2 games. Don't you have to? I know Michael Taft's back and Jelani McDonald's back and you're healthy and that's good, but I think if you're Mike Bobo in Georgia, you'd be foolish not to try a few shots.
Well, yeah, the way the secondary is playing right now, yeah, you got and for them, as I say, for Texas to do some things early, when you're at home, you try to get off to a quick start yourself, so they're liable to try some explosive plays down the field against the secondary.
Yeah, well, here's Steve Sarkisian. He was asked on Monday about his confidence in the secondary because some of the numbers aren't great. The Longhorns 13th out of 16 SEC teams in pass defense, 92nd in the country in that same category. Here's Sark talking about his confidence in the back end.
Let's start with getting 16 back, getting 4 back, okay, getting 17 back healthy. I mean, those 3 guys are factors for us. And Grayson Littleton, having, that as a true freshman playing the amount of snaps he's playing, I think him having a bye week to kind of get his body refreshed is big for him. But all those guys that I touch on affect what we do on the perimeter, because that's everybody playing on the same accord. That's everybody, working together. That's the communication and the communicating with confidence. And so I do think Manny, Jalen, and Cade Phillips growing up, I do think their play is affected by what we do inside. When you have to try to protect things inside, that puts guys a little bit more on islands on the perimeter. But I think if we can play as one as a unit, we're pretty good back there. And so getting 16 and 4 and 17, healthy, the emergence of Jonah, I think, has been helpful for us as well. So very confident in that unit and looking forward to them play Saturday night.
Yeah, I'd like to be confident in them, but I'm nervous about them.
Yeah.
Again, it's like 3 years ago. I started to wonder if you're missing one guy, does it really make that much of a difference? It's seeming like it is.
It shouldn't.
But then if you're missing 2 guys back there, that's really scary.
Might as well put you and me back there to
Oh, my
cover
goodness.
the way it's looked. So again, the good news is everybody's healthy going into the game. Now Michael Taft's going to be playing with a little cast on his hand. He's out there. He's been practicing all week. He's good to go. But does that impact him? We'll wait and see.
No, he's a little nutty, so that won't bother him.
I mean, having him on the field makes a huge difference, right? Like it's no coincidence that Texas's worst 2 secondary performances happened in the 2 games without Michael Taft back there.
Yeah, him and doing things with his hand and intercepting, or I mean, just get him around the fumbles and get these fumbles, get these turnovers that they need. Make sure you fall on it. There's no scooping scores here tonight. Just get on the ball.
That works.
If that ball is on the ground,
oh my God,
you need to get it. You can't overrun it. You can't overjump it.
The Kentucky game, 4 fumbles, and we recovered none of them. The ball was just lying on the ground, waiting to be grabbed. And we're like, no, we don't want it. Y'all can have it back.
Secure the ball.
Yeah, that's a big key. I'm with you on that. But yeah, the Texas secondary, look, Michael Taft, he's the heart and soul. He's the heartbeat. Not only is he an elite player, but he's an elite communicator. I think he's like a calming presence back there for the other 10 guys on that defense. So he just knows not only where he's supposed to be at all times, he knows where everybody else is supposed to be at all times.
I mean, he looks like he's back in that role again where the one year that when they were so bad back there, he was spending his time and everybody's pointing around and everything else.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's back in that role. I don't like him being – I like for those guys to be confident without him around.
I would too.
But it just doesn't look that way, and it's going to be great to have him back tonight.
Yeah, and I know we brought these stats up this week on our show, but the Texas pass defense has been a different beast with and without Michael Taft. With Michael Taft playing, Texas has 5 interceptions, and they've only allowed 3 passing touchdowns in the secondary. Without Michael Taft playing, 0 interceptions, 8 passing touchdowns allowed. Like, that's how big of a difference it is. Yards per attempt stats are crazy. The QBR stats are crazy different as well. Pretty much anyway. And the eye test tells the whole story. If you've watched this team play, you know the type of difference that it's been. But yeah, getting Michael Taft, getting Jelani McDonald back on the field is key, but it's football. So there's a chance that somebody gets banged up and has to miss a few plays. Remember, the Florida game, Michael Taft played. Manny Muhammad missed the game, and the Texas secondary looked lost.
You're right.
It's like, it's football. It's going to be an incredibly physical game. We know that. Odds are somebody might go down with an injury. Your secondary can't go from up here to way down here with one person missing time.
No, I mean, some guy's going to have to come out for a blow anyway.
Yeah.
There's going to be a series or maybe not a series, but a couple plays where you got to put somebody in substitute.
Right.
And if they decided, okay, we see the substitution come in, we're going to pick up. You got to be good.
Yeah. I think Texas will rotate the corners a little bit.
Sure.
I think Michael Taft and Jelani McDonald
stay on the field.
I think they will be playing like 95% of the snaps, assuming they're both fully healthy. And we have no reason to assume that they're not. I think those guys. I think
running on his hands.
Right. Well, maybe that's better than what we saw from the guys against Vandy.
Boy, they were bad.
They were horrible down the stretch. So that's I mean, I like Derek Williams Jr. I like Xavier Filsaime. But they just, the last time we saw them, they were really struggling. And there's clearly a divide between your starting 2 and what you have on the bench. That's how it usually works. The starters are usually better,
they're generally better. You're right.
But, huge game for the Texas secondary. And, Georgia's without its number 2 receiver, but they've got this kid, Zachariah Branch, transfer from USC. 53 catches, 542 yards, 3 touchdowns. He leads Georgia in pretty much every wide receiver category. He's incredibly fast. He hasn't been a big-time downfield threat.
Right.
They'll use him similarly to Ryan Wingo. It's a lot of screens, a lot of short throws, just get him the ball, and he'll make guys miss. Buck, something you talked about earlier, tackling. Texas can't let – when Georgia does throw it short, which, again, I think they'll do that a lot, or when they do run it, I think they'll do it a lot. You can't let a 5-6 yard gain turn into 50 or 60 because you miss a couple of tackles.
That started to be a part of the game for Texas in the secondaries. They had been good forever at a guy catching the ball and a guy rallying to, Michael Taft being around the pile and everything else. Lately, it's been a guy will catch a 5-yarder and he's gone for another 20 down the field. You can't have that against Georgia.
No.
Not tonight. No.
Their athletes are too good.
I know, and that's too much. They gather too much momentum off of plays like that.
Yeah. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
That's exactly right.
It's a team like that. So there you go. All right, our defensive player of the game prediction. We can get to that now. Brought to you by our great friends at Kenfield Golf Cars. We'll tell you a little bit more about Kenfield here in a moment. But Buck, you have
he's been my guy for about the last 4 weeks. At least 4 out of the 9 weeks. He's been my. Colin Simmons has to play he's playing. Tell him he's playing with the big boys now.
Yeah.
He's actually playing with the guys that we wanted to see him really play against. Games like this, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. This is what he's supposed to be about. He's supposed to be a pro playing in college right now. So he has to play like a pro tonight.
I like that. I mean, he's been the best pass rusher in America for the last month.
Yeah, he has to continue on that. I mean, he can't let you down tonight where he's just okay. He has to step up and be the guy on both sides. You know, when they start talking about the Georgia players, they won't even pay attention to what the Georgia guys. They're going to be talking about Simmons.
Yeah.
NFL scouts will be talking about him after tonight.
I think, oh my God, there are going to be so many NFL scouts at this game.
That's what I'm saying. But he needs to be the one that they're really talking about.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. Still is another year of college football after this, but this is a game you could get on a lot of people's radars with a strong performance against Georgia. And Colin Simmons has been SEC co-defensive lineman of the week in 3 of the last 4 weeks. Ethan Burke was the other week. So Texas, in the last 4 games that they played, I guess they didn't win it last week because there was no game, but they have dominated. Somebody up front has been really good. Before I give my pick, because I love that one by you, Sark was actually asked about Colin Simmons in his recent breakout on Thursday. Here's Sark talking about the Longhorn star edge rusher.
Well, I think that's what we had to do with him early in the year. You know, I think he was in such search of getting sacks that he wasn't playing his best football early. And I think that he made a change, and I would really say in the Florida game, he stopped the run against Florida. You know, he was an impactful run defender in that game. And when you just start playing and you start being the best player that you can be, next thing you know, now the sack numbers start to grow and they start to happen for you. And so it's being the best player that you can be, and you don't have to chase sacks. The sacks will find you, right? If you just keep doing and playing the way you're supposed to play. And it's credit to Colin. I think he's playing at a very high level right now. And it's not just sacking the quarterback. He's stopping the run very well. He's playing with fantastic effort. He's creating opportunities for other players because of the relentless effort that he is playing with right now. And so really credit to him. I think he's playing at a very high level.
Well, he has to have that swagger tonight when he plays. You're talking about taking that with you on the road. He has to have that tonight.
Talk a little smack.
Talking a little smack. If you talk smack at home, talk smack on the road.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you go.
I like that. I think he will. I think he's that type of kid.
Yeah.
On the field, he will talk some trash.
I think they'll get a lot of that tonight from him.
Yeah, 8 sacks for Colin Simmons on the year. That's double the amount of anybody else on this Texas team.
That's not a great offensive line that he's going against either.
No, and that's the thing, right? Like Georgia, like Texas, 4 new starters from last year. It took them a while. Now, their last couple of games, they've played really, really well. And again, they ran it for 300 yards against Mississippi State, and Gunnar Stockton had all day to throw the football. So they're coming off of their best performance, just like Texas is, where they're sitting there in Athens thinking, all right, we finally found something with this group up front. Texas, it doesn't matter who they play. They lead the country in sacks. Like, you have to be as disruptive as you have been against other teams tonight. That would be huge.
Yeah, I think that they have to continue. You know, and the thing I like about Colin Simmons, PK, is what Stark is talking about. He's playing really good in the run.
He is.
He really is. He's playing good against the run. You know, they'll try 5 ways to double team him in the passing game, but if you have to block him one-on-one in run blocking, that dude's a load, and he's got great quickness. So I mean, he makes the running back have to bubble, and they need their running backs. What they don't want is your running backs coming to the line of scrimmage clean. So hopefully that's going to happen with him tonight.
Yeah, and I think, we talked about pass rush integrity or rush lane integrity from those edges. Also containing the edge in the run game is going to be big too. I think Ethan Burke needs to have a big game. I'm not going to go with him as my player of the game, but I think he's Texas's best edge run stopper.
Yes.
And we saw him play a lot against Vanderbilt. It was a great matchup for them, and he was all over the field against the Commodores. I think number 1, Colin Simmons, and number 91, Ethan Burke. They got to be.
That sounds fantastic. And Trey Moore also. He's once again, this part of the year last year, this guy just started to really come on the scene. And lately he's been around. He's been around again. Yeah. He's doing a great job of keeping things when he's out there, of keeping, that perimeter safe and not letting anybody bounce outside. And he finds ways to bat balls down. And this is kind of his time too.
You're going to go with one All-American. I'm going to go with a different All-American. I'm going to go with Anthony Hill as my pick.
Okay.
And boy, you talk about money-making game. I mean, Anthony Hill has 3 regular season games left as a Longhorn. He ain't coming back next year.
No.
I think we all know that. He's already done enough to where he's going to be a first-round pick next year. he has a good game tonight, and like 12, 13, 14 tackles, maybe a forced fumble, maybe a fumble recovery, maybe a sack or two, gonna be a top 10 pick next.
For sure.
Like I know we'll have other chances, obviously, with Arkansas and Texas A&M and in the postseason. It's not like this is his last opportunity to put some good stuff on film. But you do this against Georgia in a game that everybody is going to be tuned into. I expect Anthony Hill to have a great game, and he has to. Buck. I think the linebackers. You talked about the Georgia tight ends, how good they are. Texas is going to have to be good in pass defense against them, and obviously stopping the run as well with what Georgia just did 7 days ago. Those linebackers are going to be asked to do a lot. You need LaFau to have a good game. You need Anthony Smith to have a good game too. It can't just be Anthony Hill, but obviously Ant Hill's the guy that we're all most confident in. He's got to be great tonight, and I think he will be.
Yeah, I mean, this as you said, this is one of those big games where everybody's watching you, so you got to perform at peak level, and this is it for him.
Oh my God,
this is the kind of game you expect to see him really show out.
And you remember, 2 years ago, Anthony Hill's true freshman season, the game in Tuscaloosa, like his second career college game, where we all knew he was a 5-star recruit. We knew he was supposed to be good, but he just put the country on notice.
Absolutely, this is the one.
Another opportunity like that on the road against an SEC power, a team that's been the class of this conference for the last 5 years, whatever it may be. An opportunity to put NFL people on there. I think most college people know who Anthony Hill is. There's going to be some NFL fans who usually only watch Sundays, but they're like, yeah, it's top 10. It's a Saturday night. I'm going to watch Texas play Georgia. Why not? And they see number 0 all over the place.
Yeah, I'm thinking LaFau will get an interception tonight.
I like
He
that.
kind of gets in the passing lane. He's got, he keeps his eye pretty well on the quarterback. He's liable to step in on one, that's meant for somebody over their guts, and he's liable to make a pick tonight.
I will not complain.
He's a good athlete. I like the way he plays.
Yeah,
I wish he was bigger.
I do too. Yep, I do too. A bit undersized, but
Yeah.
he can move in space. And
He's pretty sure tackle for a guy that's not as big as the rest of them.
He's had a solid season. So there you go. Our defensive player of the game predictions. The Buck going with Colin Simmons. I'm going with Anthony Hill. Very original, we know. Brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. The best, serving the Austin area since 1979. If your family is in the market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, we've got great news. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Carts are right around the corner. Again, they've been doing this for a long, long time. Whatever you need, multi-passenger, utility, gas, electric, new, used. If you already have a golf cart and you want to upgrade it a little bit, Kenfield can do that. Or if you're in the market for a new or pre-owned, they have you covered. Proudly owned and operated in Austin for over 40 years. Check out their 5-star reviews online. Tons of them. Nobody does it better than Kenfield. More information on their website, kenfieldgolfcars.com, or you can give them a call, 512-258-8515. See a bunch of those Kenfield carts rolling around.
Oh, yeah,
DKR
you'll see them next week.
weeks.
Yes, you will.
With Arkansas coming to town next Saturday, and obviously the Aggies coming to town the day after Turkey Day. Those Kenfield golf carts, that's who the University of Texas trusts for their golf cart needs. That's who you should trust as well. Love Kenfield. All right. Let's give, by the way, we are broadcasting live from Victory Lab on Rainey Street.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a
lot
place
of out here.
a lot of people out here on the back patio. Of course, they've got
Little
Kev in the building. Was that pizza he's down in over there? Not even going to give us a slice? What's going on, little Kev?
No, man.
He's going to offer us a half-eaten slice? I don't know if we want that.
Good stuff always hot. Yeah.
We've got
Try to put some extra peppers on it.
great crowd tonight. Tons of TVs everywhere. Cold beer, cold drinks, great pizza.
Gorgeous night.
A gorgeous night here in Central Texas. Rainey Street is popping. Shout out to Victory Lab for having us out once again. Excited to be here. And again, if you are here, we are giving away a cowboy hat courtesy of our friends at Cavender's. Also giving away a few free koozies as well. We got some folks playing cards here.
Hell yeah.
What do you make of that? Big college football Saturday, playing some cards. You okay with this?
I'm good with that.
All right. They've been here and they've been very nice, so I'm scared to dunk on them.
They don't want to see that game anyway.
It's Bama, Oklahoma. It's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. Pretty big deal.
No.
Someone's got to play gin rummy over here. I don't know what's going on, but that's all right. We'll let it happen.
It's OU.
It's OU. Nobody really needs to watch. This is a great game as we get to our second round of scoreboard updates powered by our friends at Gobundance. Early fourth quarter in Tuscaloosa, the Sooners making it a game. Oklahoma 23, Alabama 21. The Sooners with a big strip sack fumble of Ty Simpson. and they just turned it into a field goal. So Oklahoma with the lead. Boston College's lead over Georgia Tech down to just 2.
Oh boy.
7.5 minutes to go there. USC on top of Iowa, 26-21 in a ranked versus ranked matchup. How about Miami? I know a lot of people kind of left them for dead in the ACC after their 2 conference losses in 3 weeks. 41-0 over NC State. I think I sit here and act like NC State's that good, but they're not bad. 41-0.
They're not good.
Miami all over NC State. Texas Tech 48, UCF 9. We got a lot of blowouts outside of this game in Tuscaloosa and your Boston College game going on. Not a ton of crazy action around the country right now, but obviously the big game tonight, by far and away the biggest game of the day, Texas at Georgia. You do have Florida at Ole Miss as well in the SEC. Any thoughts on that game, Buck?
No, I got to believe that Ole Miss will take care of Florida. They'll take care of their business.
The line's been going way down this week.
Oh, really?
It was like 15 on Thursday. It's 10.5 right now. The game's at Ole Miss. I wonder if Lane Kiffin's maybe going to walk over to the other sideline.
Well, it looked like Mike Elko was worried about his new contract extension early.
Oh, how about that? That would have been the most Aggie thing.
Yeah, I was just waiting for that to happen.
Elko gets the giant extension, right? 6 years, $11.5 million per year. He's making more than Steve Sarkisian now. And, oh, God, if they would have gone out and lost to South Carolina.
How beautiful would that have been?
Would have been the greatest thing ever. But unfortunately, South Carolina
just have to wait 2 weeks.
Horrible at football. And, yeah, we'll hand it to them in a couple of weeks. Utah playing Baylor tonight in Waco. The AD will not be there. The AD's still on that list.
Yeah, and if Utah works them, I don't think the coach will be there next year.
Yeah, Dave Aranda on the hot seat as well. Utah, another team, kind of right there with Texas, ranked number 13 in the college football playoff rankings, looking for wins, looking for some style points. They get an opportunity to do that in Waco this evening. So there you go. Your scoreboard updates, once again, powered by our great friends at Gobundance, gobundance.com/TSU for more information. All right, got about 30 minutes left in our pregame show. Buck, let's get to your 3 keys to victory.
You got it.
Brought to you by Sue Patrick. We love Sue Patrick. We'll talk more about them in a moment. But back to Texas and Georgia. If the Longhorns are going to pull off an upset tonight, how are they going to get it done?
Keep your wits about you. You're going to have to. This is just one of those games where, you want to get off to a fast start, but you don't want to be overly excited, BK, and just be too fired up where you start making mistakes because you want it so bad. Just keep your wits about you. Things are going to happen good for you in the game. Things are going to happen not so good for you. So you got to be calm. And I think they've been calm over the last couple of weeks in some of these really tight ball games on the road. So that's number 1. Number 2 is protect the quarterback once again. And when I say protect the quarterback, I mean protect the quarterback and protect the ball at the same time too. Because these guys will come for the ball. They're coached really, really well on defense. Everybody, and I've noticed about 3 punches in college football today where guys have come out of nowhere and punched the ball out.
Peanut punch?
Peanut punch. They're starting to do that all over the place now. So you got to protect the ball there. And Georgia's really good at doing stuff like that. So protect your quarterback, protect the ball, and be the most physical team on the field tonight.
I like that.
That's asking a lot.
That is asking a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
They can do it, right? We've seen them do it against very good physical teams this year.
That was the hardest for me to put down as my 3rd choice of be the most physical team on the field. I mean,
it's not really a prediction.
It's almost
it's
like
more of a key. It's more of what you want to see.
Yeah, that's something I really want to see. I want to see them be physical. I don't know if you out physical Georgia at any time, and especially with this team. I don't care because if you have to finesse them to win the game at the end in the 4th quarter, then do so.
Right.
Like I said, if you got to do reverses and things like that and get guys open, yes. I mean, you don't have to power the ball in from the 5-yard line. I don't care what you do to get it in from the 5 line. Just get in. Just don't run toss sweep.
Yeah, no, they really struggled in the red zone last year against anybody, but especially against Georgia too. They've been better in that area as of late, but physicality in those goal line situations in the red area, that's the big key.
Equal the physicality of Georgia.
It's fine.
Maybe I shouldn't go and say be the most physical team. Because I'm going to look at this and say, that's not the most physical team.
I'll tell you what, I will be disappointed if the Texas defensive line gets out physicaled by the Georgia offensive line. Like, that's a matchup Texas has to win. Yeah, I think everybody feels like this is an elite defensive line. We had a couple of Georgia people on our show this week, and they both said Texas's defensive line is the best that Georgia's seen all year. Better than
Right.
Alabama, better than Ole Miss, better than Tennessee, better than anybody.
In other words, they can't be gouging them with the run.
It has to look like that.
Sure, I
And
agree.
it should. I mean, Texas has passed every test this year. Again, tied for the nation lead in sacks, top 3 in the country in rushing defense.
Yeah,
So they have been
and I
elite.
get gouged.
This could not be the game where Georgia's offensive line, which has been up and down this year, it's not like that's a Joe Moore Award finalist group that we're going up against. This cannot be a game where they just dominate and get whatever they want on the ground, and Gunnar Stockton has enough time to pick you apart through the air.
No doubt about it.
That's a huge key.
Texas Tech is whipping somebody's ass.
Central Florida.
Uh,
Yeah, Texas Tech on a mission today.
Okay, Joey McGuire, we got it.
Weren't they in a close one last week?
Yes.
All right, so they're taking it out on
Oh,
the
man.
2017 national champions,
My goodness.
UCF Golden Knights. At least this time.
Us back there.
I believe that is
Wow.
Scott Frost back there.
Sorry about your national championship.
Yeah, well, it's still there. Banners fly forever, Buck. Don't forget
Yeah.
about that. Even though nobody outside of Orlando acknowledges that
My
that's real,
goodness.
it is still real. So, all right, I like those 3 keys to the game. Keep your wits about you, protect the quarterback and the football, and win the physicality battle.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep your wits about you early, especially if things are,
Um,
when things start going, but you have to. You don't have a choice.
So, again, we talked about it. Texas has been so good at not turning the ball over. 7 giveaways in 9 games. Only 1 fumble lost for Texas this year, by the way. 6 picks for Arch, 1 fumble lost.
I'll tell you what, that is an incredible stat
It is.
for folks.
It's amazing. It
They
really
haven't
is.
been able to run the ball worth of crap, but to not put it on the ground one time in a season.
That's what happens when Jaden Blue leaves.
Well,
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I think my best year at Texas was 3
Okay.
in a season. And that's just hard to do, man. That's
Yeah. 1
now you
fumble
put it-
lost
yes.
this year. So, look, I would love for Texas to have 0 turnovers today. I don't think it's going to happen. Can it be 1? Again, last year, both games against Georgia, you had 3. That's not going to get it done tonight.
no, you're gonna get beat if you have 3.
Can it be 1, number 1? And number 2, how do you respond?
Yeah.
If there's going to be adversity tonight.
Right.
Turnover, sack, whatever. You're going to have a couple of things go against you. The crowd's going to be nuts. They're going to have a drone show tonight. All the crap that they made fun of Texas for, saying, "Oh, we only care about the football. We don't care about the show."
They're gonna
have all that shit tonight.
They're gonna have the show tonight.
Oh, 100%. So, don't get phased. When something goes against you, can you respond? Can you get up off the mat? Because you're going to get knocked down a few times.
I agree.
That's your number 1 key. I think it's perfect. Keep your wits about you. You cannot let this moment get too big. It's hard enough to beat Georgia in their place regardless. You cannot let things stack against you and snowball and turn it into a disaster.
Yeah, the Horns under Sark over the last 3 years, they've been in so many big games, and they've kept their wits about them in those games. They didn't win them all, but they didn't look like they were outmatched by anybody. Even Georgia, the first time back here, I just thought physically, mentally, they were in those games. This one is a little bit different there.
This is a huge one for Steve Sarkisian,
Yes, it is.
by the way.
He needs this win, by the
He
way.
needs this one. Yeah, outside of the obvious, right? Playing for an SEC title, playing for a playoff spot. We know that. But just for the macro,
Yes.
Steve Sarkisian, in his career, 2-12 against the top 5, 1-6 at Texas. His last win, his only win against a top 5 team as the head coach of the Longhorns, the Alabama game 2 years ago. He's lost 5 in a row against top 5 teams. 2
Yeah.
of them to Georgia. So, look, 2-12. It's not James Franklin bad. James Franklin 1-20 against top 5 teams. It ain't that bad. But you compare Steve Sarkisian to Kirby Smart, to Kalen DeBoer, to Dan Lanning, Ryan Dex, other big name coaches in the sport. All of those guys are above 500 against top 5 teams. Steve Sarkisian's 2-12. So you want to get, like you said, it's not just the Georgia gorilla off your back.
Right.
For Sark, it's top 5. You got to find a way. If you want to be the head coach at Texas for a long, long time, and we all want that to be the case for Sark, we're all rooting for him. You got to start winning some of these games against the
By
best.
the way,
of the
this
best.
took a long way for that guy to be around for a long, long time.
It would help.
Tonight.
It would absolutely
It
help.
really does.
He's got 2 more chances against top 5 teams in the next 2
Yes.
weeks. So if he can be 4-12 against the top 5 at the end of November, people are going to be very happy with Coach Sark. If he's 2-14, then he ain't losing his job after this year. He shouldn't. But there are going to be people wondering,
Can he get you over the hump?
we know he got us back, but yeah, can he get us over the
Yeah.
hump? Exactly. In this conference, or to win this league, you're going to have to beat a top 5 team in the conference title game.
Yeah, because when you're Georgia, Alabama,
Mhm.
Texas, it's not about having a great winning season in the SEC. It's about getting to the SEC championship and getting to the national championship,
Right.
getting to the playoff.
Beating Kentucky's cool, beating Mississippi State's cool, but it ain't about that. That's not what we're looking for.
No,
here.
not
We're
at all.
To be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yes.
We all want to be the best in this conference. So you have the opportunity to just show that you're here. Like that was what the Alabama game was 2 years ago.
Yes, it was.
Obviously, Texas was still in the Big 12, but all the doubt, is Texas ready? There's no way they're ready to hang in the SEC. You went on the road and handed Nick Saban his worst home loss in his Bama career. So, okay, you kind of got past that hurdle, but now there are people like, all right, that's good. You can beat some teams, but you can't beat Georgia. You can't beat these guys. That's great. Congrats. You're in the second tier. You have a chance to prove that, no, we're not just at the table. We're at the head of the table.
Yeah, I mean, this will go a long way for that. And it's not like, well, you got time to wait. There's not a lot of time to wait because Kirby's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
He's not.
That man-child will be there for a long time.
Yeah,
On the sideline with that stupid-ass visor. Is he wearing a visor, man?
I don't know.
Anyone here wearing a visor? I
No.
don't think I have the authority to kick people out. I would think about it if I saw a visor in the crowd. It's a bad look. But he's a damn good coach.
He is.
He's the best in the country. So, not only do you beat a top 5 team, but you beat this coach, the only active coach with multiple national championship wins. I should say one of 2 with Dabo Sweeney. Yeah, Kirby Smart is the best in this sport right now. And just a huge opportunity for Sark to shut some people up. He knows those stats.
Of course.
He'll act like he doesn't pay attention to the outside.
Oh, he knows every one of them.
He knows how bad he's been.
Or somebody on his staff that's what they're in charge of doing, telling him stuff he don't know.
Bulletin board material
Oh, yeah.
for Sark. Yeah, forget the players in that locker room. He's looking for some revenge, and he's looking for a chance to get a huge win on his resume.
Yeah, he needs this one.
Yeah, he does. All right, your 3 keys to victory. We're all over the place there, but want to give some love to Sue Patrick.
I love the folks at Sue Patrick. I'm wearing their gear. We're both wearing their gear for
Sure.
today. We always do in our away and home games, of course. And 5222 Burnett Road. Nothing but great parking there. If you want to get there and get all your gear, your Longhorn gear, your polos, get ready for next week. You're going to need it.
Oh, man. Next
Maybe
2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks. You may need some long sleeves next week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a little bit of rain later on in the week next week.
For the Archie game?
Yeah, but get everything that you need at Sue Patrick's. It is there for you. For more information, go to SuePatrick.com.
I'm here to tell you, not free parking on Rainey Street.
No.
No giant lots, no free parking down here.
No duck boats coming down Rainey Street tonight.
No duck boats?
No.
Could have used one.
Hell yeah.
You think they drive all the way to Oak Hill? I get a ride home on one of those things?
Get Paulie to do that. He'll do that.
That would have make him do something. Make him use. Come on, Paulie. We need your help out
The
here.
enforcer alone.
The enforcer alone. Yeah, I thankfully no parking garages. We were able to park in a lot because I know that's an issue for you, getting out of a parking garage.
Yeah, and my credit card and which button I got to push.
Yeah.
That's way too much. This was pretty easy. Just hold the card in there.
Yeah.
You pull it out. Hey, you're going to be here 3 hours. It's going to cost you $35.
Here's a little tip, by the way, for you people maybe driving to Rainey Street. So you could pay on your phone, Buck. I can't imagine you did this because you hate the QR
Oh,
code.
you know what it just said?
Uh-oh.
Parking expires.
Oh, you're getting an expiration for your parking?
Yeah, 17 to 20 minutes.
You better run after the show is
Yeah.
over.
Oh, yeah. 17 to 20. What does that mean? Do they come on the property and just
They're always around. They're staring at your car right now, just waiting.
somebody
They've
really
got a
is
timer there to make sure.
just waiting as soon as that time hits?
17 to 20? They don't give you an exact
Oh,
time?
it says 17 to 20 minutes. Your time will run out.
Oh, no. What are you going to do? I have to bolt early here. I think you'll chance it. I think you'll be
Yeah, I'll
okay.
chance it. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Maybe a giant boot on your car when you walk out of this place.
They don't just boot you for that. Don't you have to have some violations? They don't just throw boots at you. They
Welcome,
do?
welcome to downtown Austin,
Oh,
sir.
so that's considered a
It
violation.
is considered.
You don't get like 6 violations.
Yeah. No, this isn't the
What kind of
Texas.
shit is that? If I'm overparked by 3 minutes, somebody stick a boot on my car?
It's terrible. Yeah,
It's garbage.
It's garbage. It's horrible. That's what they do. That's how they get you. Downtown Rainey Street, they won't mess around. They will boot you. Well, Kev got one too.
Yeah.
17 to 20 minutes.
My goodness.
Yeah. Now there's people walking around on a Saturday night. Shoot,
Should have put a 20 or a 10 spot on my windshield.
it's not a bad idea right there. Well, then they'll take that and still boot your ass.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I didn't take it. I didn't see. Somebody else must have got it. Must have been the homeless lady walking around there. Couldn't have been me. Love Sue
What I need to do is
Patrick, by
own
the
a
way.
parking garage. That's what I need to
You
do.
need to own a parking garage.
That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else.
How much do you think those run these days?
A lot of cement in those. Got to pay a lot to pour that cement.
Oh, you're trying to build one from scratch?
Oh, yeah, I want it from
Not
scratch.
trying to take one over down
I
here?
don't want one of these old ones. I want a new one.
Okay.
New cement, the whole works.
All right. I like that thought. I'll get
you
in
have to
on
pay for
that.
property too, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do.
Damn.
And that's probably what costs a little bit more down here for sure. But I'm in on that. I feel like that's a good investment by you. All right, back to Texas and Georgia. I like that Texas is coming off of a bye week in this game and Georgia's not. The hope is not only the health, we've talked about the health a lot. The fact that the Longhorns didn't have anybody on the injury report this week is massive, but just the chance to clean some things up. Clean up
for sure.
issues on the back end in the defense, clean up the issues in the running game on the offense, and just more opportunity for this offensive line to get things going here. That's a big key. And we keep going back to this, but I think it's important. Making sure Georgia's pass rush doesn't show up today. I think their secondary is gettable. They've got some future NFL players on the back end, don't get me wrong. But I look at the Georgia yards per play number on defense. They're giving up 3.1 yards per carry on the ground. They're giving up 6.8 yards per attempt through the air.
Yeah, you got to get them through the air.
Do the math on that, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, you're not going to throw it 60 times and run it none. But, you take those chances here. Just don't bang your head against the wall over and over again by trying to establish the ground game. I think this is a big game for Arch Manning in these receivers. And also if Jack Andrews can do something. I know we're not talking about him a whole lot, but it's something.
We have kept that dude in the closet for the entire football season.
He gave closet.
I mean, that's hard to do. It's hard to keep a player that was supposed to be a dynamic football player at a position like tight end. There's all of these great tight ends all over the country. His name may have been mentioned as much as any of the tight ends in America when he came to Texas, decided to come to Texas out of the portal.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, PK, it's been like, we're afraid to talk about that dude.
It just hasn't made too much of an impact here.
No.
Now, the good thing is, and this is, again, we need more consistency from Steve Sarkisian as an offensive game planner and play caller, right?
Yes.
We liked what we saw in the second half against Oklahoma, where Texas spread the ball around a little bit, more passes, more quick game, more up-tempo, and it really worked. And we're thinking, all right, the Longhorns have themselves an identity on offense. This is something that they can rely on from here on out.
Scheme this dude open.
And a week later against Kentucky, it was right back to all the shit that didn't work against Florida.
Scheme this guy open tonight.
So, you hope you only see one tight end on the field, right? 11 personnel has been much more effective for Texas. One running back, one tight end, 3 receivers, and the one tight end, it needs to be Jack Andrews. Get it if you don't play every single snap.
Right.
And there'll be times in the red area where you go a little jumbo and maybe you'll have 2 tight ends out there on the field. But we've seen enough from these tight ends to know that those guys aren't huge difference makers. I'd love Andrews to make a little bit of an impact, but, man, I'm more focused on these wide receivers making it.
Well, I know this. He is not the point of attack tight end for you
in
this football game against Georgia.
No, they've been better, too, when they've spread to run.
Right.
Don't go jumbo to run the football because
No,
your tight ends haven't been good enough at blocking.
I'd rather have my guys split out all over the place and give me some gaps, but even at the linebacker area where everybody's widened out just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I don't need it all bunched in there with 2 tight ends for sure.
No.
And I don't need Jack Andrews in motion so that he goes and blocks the end of the line and gets slammed back down to the center.
And I really hope this doesn't become a game where Texas feels like they have to go max protect to keep Arch Manning upright.
That's going to draw more people towards him.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Again, you hope your offensive line can hold up a little bit, but you want as many guys out running routes as you can against this team. And I think something that could be another strength for the Longhorns, too, on offense, going up against a Georgia defense that at times has struggled with tackling. Again, you're saying a lot of stuff about this defense that you don't typically say. Texas has some really good blocking wide receivers.
They do.
Like DeAndre Moore, very good at that. Emmett Mosley, the 5th, very good at that. That's been a big part of why those Ryan Wingo screens have been so effective.
They've done a good job of blocking for their fellow wide receiver.
Yeah. So
that's hard to do. That is a hard deal to do.
You've talked about this a lot throughout the week, just getting to the perimeter against this Georgia defense, not trying to go just play the game in a phone booth.
No.
Getting to the outside is going to be key. You can't do that if you don't get good perimeter blocking. That was a huge problem for Texas early in the year. But remember, Mosley missed the first month. DeAndre Moore missed a game with a concussion. Now it feels like that is a big strength for Texas. Those guys have to hold up, too.
Yeah, you got guys with quick feet. Guys like Trey Wiseman has quick feet. How do you get him on the perimeter to go one-on-one versus a secondary guy? They've got good athletes, but, I mean, that kid against a lot of people in America, I'll take him. one-on-one shake and bake. I mean, you got to find ways to get him out of that. Now hopefully he's going to break through and somebody's going to miss him. Like I said, you have to take advantage of the mistake. If somebody makes a mistake and misses a tackle, your running back got to be out the gate. I mean, gone.
Yeah.
You can't get tripped up with an arm tackle if they're not in good position. If anybody from Georgia is out of position and you have an opportunity to break it, you have to break it.
I think.
Now, we know Ryan Wingo will do that. He'll break your arm if you're out of position. So
I think of that Trey Wisner play against Oklahoma, right, where he was dead to rights in the backfield and he broke a tackle from R. Mason Thomas, who's one of the best defensive linemen in the country.
That's right.
Turned it into a 37-yard gain. Like you get those opportunities today, they're going to be few and far between.
You got to take advantage of them for sure.
You got to make the most of them, and God, everybody's got to play well. And Sark was asked about this earlier. You know, it's of course you need your star players to be great. You need the obvious ones to show up. But this is one of those games where, and I think Steve Sarkisian says this in the cut we're about to play. You know, you've got your Anthony Hills, your Michael Taffs, your Trey Wisners, your Ryan Wingos, guys who are going to be on the field for like 90% of the snaps. But you're going to have some guys who play 10 snaps in this game.
Sure.
That might make a difference. You got a guy on punt return team who might make a difference in this game, even though he's not going to be on the field a whole lot. Here's Sark talking about just everybody needing to step up and play well to win this game today.
Yeah, no, I think it's important for everybody. You know, when you play really good teams who are really well coached, you never know what's going to be the play or the plays that are going to be the deciding factors in games like this. And so, you know, everybody's got a role in our organization. And for some guys, it's, 70 plays. Anthony Hill, Michael Taft, those guys are going to play 75, 80 plays in this game, depending. For other guys, it might be 1, 2, 5 plays. It could be a kick coverage. It could be a critical block on a punt return. It could be Matt Caldwell coming in and having to make that pass. And so everybody's got to get themselves ready to play. And I think our guys have learned that throughout our season as we've grown, that you never know what's going to be the play or the plays that are going to be the deciding factors. And so everybody's got to get themselves ready to go.
Can't let your group down. You can't let your teammates down. Because they're going to be in for 45 plays, you're going to be in for 6. Those 6 are really important to the team. So you got to do a good job with those 6 plays, and some of them don't even get 6.
Right.
Just
a few.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: speaking of guys who don't play a ton but might be asked to do a little bit tonight, we talked about Ryan Niblett as the punt returner,
right?
And we're not sure how many opportunities he's going to get, considering Georgia's really good at special teams, and they've got a smart coach and a smart punter who's really good who can directionally kick it away from Ryan Niblett. It's been a sticking point between you and I this year about how much of a role Ryan Niblett has on the offensive side of the ball. Is this the game where you try to unleash him a little bit on offense?
The only way I unleash him is if the first time he touches the ball, he gives me something very, very positive.
Okay. If
he gives me the guy who doesn't play running back for a living and he runs right into the back of the guard and sticks his head right up his ass instead of getting in the A or B gap and he gets stuffed, I'm not doing it again. I'll be done with it. If he gets in the game and he goes in motion and I hand it off to him and he gets around the corner on the perimeter and goes, guess what? He can line up there and I'll give it to him again as a tailback. But I'm not wasting my time with that. I'm just not going to do it. That's not what he does for a living. But give me some success and I'll go back to it again and again and again.
Yeah.
That's kind of like all stat beer for you.
Oh, man.
You go back to it again and again because you've had success with it. But this isn't the game for that.
It's never let me down.
No, there you go.
Ryan Niblett may have let me down. All Stat Beer is never going to let me down.
All Stat Beer has never let you down, right?
In about 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
It will be lifting me up. I can tell you that.
I just don't like, a guy who doesn't play the position all the time. And they've been trying it. But what they've done is every time he's come in, he's got the ball. Make him a decoy once again and give somebody else the ball. But if you're going to find a reason to bring him in the game, he better be pretty good at the 3 or 4 plays that you give him to do.
They did a better job against Vanderbilt using him as a decoy.
They did. Yes, they did.
And they've got 2 weeks off to figure out, ways to incorporate him more in the offense. I'm fascinated. I still think it's going to be C.J. Baxter. But, who's the number 2 running back for Texas? Could it be Ryan Niblett? Could it be James Simon? Is it C.J. Baxter?
They're not going to trust Simon enough in a game like this.
Yeah.
They're going to, as I said, they're going to give Niblett the ball. But if he gets stuffed, Sark's not doing that again.
Yeah.
He's just not going to do that kind of thing.
I wonder if he gets more snaps though than C.J. Baxter. Maybe not as many runs in between the tackles.
I'll tell you this. I'll take that chance.
You know something I'd love to see, Buck, and I don't think we will because we just have barely ever seen it under Steve Sarkisian. 21 personnel.
Oh, and I'd love to have 2 backs in there.
I know the backs haven't been great, but like you talk about having a decoy, you got Trey Wisner and Ryan Niblett
Now you're talking.
to the sides of
Absolutely.
Arch Manning, plus Ryan Wingo and DeAndre Moore on the field.
I like that. I like that right there.
I don't know.
lot.
Again, you've had 2 weeks off, maybe an opportunity for Sark to incorporate this new wrinkle. This is a pull out all the stops game. This is a break tendency type of game. Do stuff that they haven't seen you do on film this year, so you catch them.
Well, you're only going to get 1 or 2 chances of doing it because Kirby, once he sees Niblett in the game with another running back, he is going to put the pressure on that guy who hasn't played running back to pick up a blitz.
Right?
Yeah, I see that linebacker coming through the A-gap. He belongs to you.
Well, then, hey, throw it to Ryan Wingo on that play. Everyone sees Niblett out there, and Wisner. It's like, oh, it's got to be going to one of those two. All right.
You're absolutely right.
Flip the script a little bit. Go to somebody.
This is a Sark game. He has to.
Oh,
He's got
God.
a lot to prove in this football game.
Yeah, the chess match between the coaches, right? Sark versus Kirby and Glenn Schumann, and obviously Pete Kwiatkowski going up against Mike Bobo.
I just think. I mean, it's a great opportunity for Sark in this football game.
Yeah, it is. It's
The whole country to see it. Yes,
the talent's pretty even on these two teams, right?
I would agree.
A lot of this is going to come down to coaching in this football game. And again, in these top 5 matchups, that's usually the case. Texas has the talent to run with just about anybody in the country. Do they have the coaching to lead them over the top against Georgia?
Yeah, and we're going to knock on wood that guys in the secondary are going to be healthy enough because that will be something that you'll be looking at if their quarterback has the time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And the ball getting down the field and guys getting behind the secondary.
I will be a little nervous.
That bothers me a little bit, you know.
Pass rush has to be great. Everything's got to be great, but pass rush, that's a strength of your team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we can look at 50 different things that, you know, could be maybe, but everybody has to be good tonight.
I'm with you on that. All right, taking a look at the Clean Cause YouTube comment line. Our guy Joe K says, the sun is going down, Bucky and BK. Watch out for that Rainey Street Ripper. We've had some murders on Rainey Street in the last few years, huh?
What do you think? You think I can get to my car going that way, not near the river?
I think you should be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If someone comes up to you and
well, I'm not outrunning them. I know that.
You're not outrunning anybody right
His
now.
track shoes on. He's got me.
No, we got a newborn baby over there who I think could beat you in a race right now.
All right.
That's where you're at right now. Yeah, the Rainey Street Killer. I think they've been going after
homeless dudes.
no, people like guys closer to my age than your age. I don't think you're in the prime
Oh, they don't want the whole meat.
demographic. No, they don't want the old meat. No, they're going for the young buck, you know. That's what they're looking for here. So I don't know. Just don't walk into the lake either.
Yeah,
Worry about that
for some of you who have done that.
You might not need a murderer. You might just take a wrong step and end up falling into the lake face first. That would be an issue there. Clean Cause, though, Buck, one of our favorites.
Absolutely. 50% of their profits go to those that are in need with addiction problems, whether it's alcohol or drugs. Clean Cause has been doing this all over Texas for an awful long time, but now they're trying to do it all over the world, and they do a fantastic job. The management at Clean Cause, they do believe in giving. And when you give 50% of your profits, that is giving now.
Yeah,
and I love it. The Clean Cause drinks. I used to drink a bunch of those. The Yerba Mate drinks are fantastic with Clean Cause. As I said, you'll see them in H-E-B, 7-Elevens, any place in the state of Texas that has any kind of water or whatever, you'll see Clean Cause drinks also.
Yeah, tons of great flavors. And like you said, 50% of the profits getting donated is absolutely insane. Love our great friends at Clean Cause. All right, it's about time for our game score predictions brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. We'll tell you more about them in a moment. By the way, Alabama down by 2 against Oklahoma. 1:36 left in regulation. The Crimson Tide have a 3rd and 21. Oklahoma on the brink.
Of making that win look good for Texas.
I know what happens in Tuscaloosa, Alabama has zero bearing on what happens in Athens, but just seeing a road underdog go into a Blue Bloods house in the SEC as like a 5-6 point upset and maybe win, does that give you any more faith that Texas can do this tonight?
No, it gives me faith that the Oklahoma coach will be back for the next 15 years, and that'd be great.
That's what we want.
That's
right?
what we want,
yeah.
yes.
As long as they keep playing the way they do against Texas,
yeah.
It's a good sign right there. Yeah, I mean, look, Oklahoma, they got 2 easy games after this. Missouri and LSU at home. Those are very winnable. If OU is able to hold on in this game, very good chance they're in the college football playoff.
No doubt.
Now, Texas, if they have the same record, we know Texas is getting in. But yeah, you worry about Oklahoma maybe stealing a bid because I think Alabama's going to be in even if they lose this game.
Of course, they lose 2 more and they'll be in.
Instead of oh yeah, they could be 8-4 and they'll get in. That's how it usually works. But to steal a college basketball term, bid stealer. You don't want any bid stealers right now.
No.
In the college football playoff. Again, we know what's at stake. If Texas runs the table, if they win these final 3 games, they'll be in. It's not going to matter what happens around the country. But obviously, the 9-3 conversation, hopefully not one we have to have on Monday.
No.
Our goal is to be talking about Texas being 8-2 and still having the shot to be 10-2 in the regular season and making it to the SEC championship game. But obviously, we know how these things go. All right, got about 5 minutes left here. We got to get to our game score predictions brought to you by Paul's Motorworks. Buck, you have been all over the place this week.
Yes, I have.
With your thoughts on Texas and Georgia. Like on Monday, you were confident that Texas was going to win.
Yes.
And you were trying to convince me that I needed to believe that the
you need to move the goalpost.
We're going to win. And then it's interesting because you had a day off on Thursday. You went to a doctor.
Yes, I went to the doctor.
Not entirely sure what happened at that doctor's office. Hanging out with Aaron Rodgers, getting some ayahuasca or something. And you came back on Friday, and you're like, Georgia's going to win by 2 touchdowns. So, last chance to change your pick. Texas, a 4.5-point dog at Georgia. Money's been coming in on Texas over the last 24 hours or so. Last chance to change your mind. What is your game score prediction?
Georgia 30. Texas 27.
Okay. So
do you feel any
win for Georgia?
Yeah. Do you feel any better?
So Texas covering. No, I was hoping you were going to pick. So what changed between yesterday and today, where you had Georgia blowout and now you think Texas can keep it close?
I think Texas will be able to run the ball tonight.
Okay.
I think the run's going to keep them in the game,
but not enough to.
No, but not enough to win the game.
All right.
Kirby's just better right now.
Yeah.
Even with maybe not the better team, but I think he's just better.
Okay. I'm going to go with Texas. I've changed.
What?
We have flipped sides from the start of the week.
You little homer, you.
I'm going to be a little, what'd you call me? A
little homer.
Homer. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Just making sure right there. I'm going to go with Texas 24, Georgia 23. I'm going to go with a Mason Shipley game-winning field goal at the buzzer. Longhorns down by 2, kicking a field goal for the win. They get it, and they send the dogs home crying.
Yeah.
Not barking, crying.
30 grown men barking.
I want grown men crying. You know how dogs cry when they get upset?
Yeah, I hear mine out back all the time.
I want to see the Georgia fans doing that today. And I think Texas fans.
So we're going to be eating the dogs tonight?
We're going to be eating the dogs tonight.
Very nice. Well done.
That's how I'm feeling right there. So I am going with a Texas upset victory. Looks like Oklahoma's about to get it done. They are about to get it done.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Turnover on downs. Alabama about to lose its first SEC game of the year.
Fire the coach again on Monday.
Brent Venables, a huge win for Oklahoma. And we'll see. Maybe we get more chaos tonight at Sanford Stadium.
That would be awesome.
Not a lot of people picking Oklahoma in this game. Not a lot of people picking Texas in this game. But, yeah, I got the Longhorns winning. I think Arch Manning has a really good day. I am not confident in Texas being able to run the football like you are. I do think this is Arch going to have to put the team on his back. But I trust the offensive line is going to hold up enough in pass protection. And more importantly, I think the Longhorn defense has a bounce-back showing. I don't think this game's going to hit the over, right? Like, I think this will be a low-scoring, a little bit of a slugfest type of game. Normally, that's what Georgia wants. This year, Georgia likes playing in those shootouts. They're comfortable scoring with anybody in the country, and I think Texas wants to keep this a little bit lower scoring, and I think they find a way to do so today.
I'm so unhappy watching Oklahoma win a football game.
Watching them celebrate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate that.
It's not what we're looking for. It's not what we're looking for at all, and they are celebrating. All right.
Wow.
Our intern, Mason, is supposed to be here. Hey, little Kev, can you bring us the little raffle ticket, please, sir? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We got to do this giveaway now for this free cowboy hat brought to you by our friends at Cavender's. Got to do this on camera so everyone knows it's legit, right?
Yes.
We've had a lot of the same crowd here waiting for their opportunity to win. All right, you're in charge here, sir. You're doing the drawing. Let's see who wins.
You probably don't.
No one's going to get mad at me. It's got to be him. I didn't do anything. He's the one picking it. You got to read it. Uh-oh. If your handwriting's too bad, you're not going to win. Those are the rules.
Lindsay, is it Brody?
Lindsay Brody.
Lindsay?
Congratulations. All right. I know who that is. Congrats to Lindsay.
Did I pronounce your last name all right?
That is correct. Yeah, good. That's good spelling. That's good handwriting.
That's great handwriting. That's good Catholic school handwriting. Appreciate that.
I think we've had 3 this year. We haven't been able to read them.
Yeah.
We're just like, screw it. We're throwing it back in the bucket.
Absolutely.
We're not going to win. Congrats to Lindsay for winning our free Cavender's Cowboy hats.
There's John Intercept here. He's happy.
Celebrating. Hopefully Texas is celebrating tonight.
It's been a lot of
win.
fun.
Big win. We are trying to eat the dogs. Hold on one more time.
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah, let's eat
Thank
the
you. We're
dogs
trying to
tonight.
eat the dogs
Yeah.
tonight in Athens. Thank you, Mr. President, for
Yeah,
joining,
we
for
need to
joining
do
the
that.
show at the very end. All right, that's going to do it for our Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show presented by Covert Bee Cave and audio-visual consultations. Great crowd at Victory Lap. Again, if you're looking for a place to watch the game tonight, Victory Lap on Rainey Street. TVs everywhere. They'll have the sound on for Texas and Georgia. And hopefully the party's going on all night long. Special thanks to all of our great partners as well. Shout out to Paul's Motorworks. Got to give
Absolutely.
them some love. 620 and 2222, the best
AV
auto mechanic
Consultations, of
in the
course.
city at Paul's Motorworks. If you need work done on your car, it's where I go for an oil change. They're the place to go for any automotive care that you need. The best in the city. I drive 30 minutes to go see these guys.
He knows it's that.
That's how good they are. PMWAustin.com. Paul's Motorworks. Just Google them. See all of their 5-star reviews. I'm one of them. They are fantastic. But that'll do it for us. For Adam Wagner back at home running the app. For Bucky Godbolt, I am BK Brad Kellner. Thanks so much for tuning in. Y'all enjoy the game and the weekend. And
Welcome.
welcome.